While everyone's in turmoil.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. Very excited to be back for tonight's episode of the Salamander Coast. Hi, Furby. So glad to have you here. So glad to have everybody here, whether you're watching live or you're watching on YouTube afterwards. Let's go ahead and roll the intro and dive in.
know what I'm fucking doing, but I'm trying every fucking day.
I would have never even met you.
Sure, it's a very lengthy repertoire. But
A powerful warrior, which, I definitely agree with you on, but
So, we're back.
I do.
And we're ready to dive in to tonight's session after I bring us Cameron's beautiful face. That's Felicity's forehead. Not that there's anything wrong with Felicity's forehead, but it's not what I wanted in that square.
She
Oh,
is offended.
there you
My
go.
forehead specifically.
My forehead specifically. Look at that, getting the behind the scenes. There you go. Look at him. Look at him. Look cutie.
Look at Cameron's face.
Oh my god. Like a little cherub.
that's,
Where are your wings?
An absolute just little baby little cutie. All right, so let me stop crushing on my man over there and let's actually dive into tonight's session. So, as is tradition here on Roll with Advantage, I, the DM, do not do the summary. I have the players do the summary. This week on summary is, I didn't ask or double check this week because it's been so long. Somebody did it last time though, and before we didn't play. Who is it?
Ball has
See,
been
when
dropped.
Gemma's not here.
Look, okay, I can read my notes.
I typed a summary.
Yeah, Mark does type
Mark.
in summary every.
I'll read it.
I feel like it is Mark actually.
Thanks for taking one for the team, Mark.
If it is me, cool. If it's not, swell.
Well, it is now.
Mark, it is you on 1/8, which was when we were supposed to play next. So Cameron, you are on summary next week, so be
We were
prepared for
supposed to
that.
play on February 8th? Jesus. Okay, sorry.
Oh no, that was
Alright.
January 8th. Whatever. Okay, just go for it.
Okay, we'll figure it out next week, okay? Let me just...
Gemma, please help me.
Book 9, Chapter 16 of the Salamander Coast. Played on January 23rd. In a realm between life and death, Summer Renshi tried to keep his light alive as he explained to his other forms what had just happened. But he began to feel a creeping shadow, and his grasp on the light faded, and he saw something. Ellipses. Back in reality, Cecily and Ajax ran into Malice's own Bansheen, who were only interested in where the Drider had come from. Cecily quickly saw through their disguises, but opted to tell them what they wanted and to stay inconspicuous. Meanwhile, Bianca and Carasilla reconvened and caught up on plans. As Carasilla sent a message to Ajax to update them, she quickly realized what was wrong. The whole party reconvened somewhere private. Suna explained that necromancy of all kinds was forbidden in Adarashi, explaining Alaric's banishment, meaning they wouldn't be able to find a cleric to aid them with Renshi. Bianca had a riskier plan, however. She proposed there may be a chance to earn Renshi's soul back by surviving Hades' maze in the Hells. Though the plan was met with great concern, the party eventually agreed that it was their best bet, and that they should allow Bianca the freedom to risk herself for Renshi if she wished. They made plans to keep Renshi's body preserved while they took care of the rest of their day, hoping to make a pyre and convene with Hades via the flame at night. Then it was time for Crescent Arena business. Bianca and Suni stood up as Hiroshi's champions and prepared for their challenge. But as the party was waiting for their call, they saw a surprising face. Pooh, wandering the streets, drenched in wawa. Cecily ran to him, and they realized that after contacting him, he somehow traveled through the water they had communed in, and ended up from Opakami to Shiroi. Though he wasn't exactly sure how he got there, or how he would get back, he was happy to see everyone and decided to enjoy some time together. Before they could catch up much, though, it was time for the fight. Bianca and Suni fought against a giant storm crab in front of an excited crowd, coming victorious with flying colors. And then, they finally had time to retreat to the lodge for the night. Suni showed Po his prosthetic arm, and they bonded over losing limbs and which one was cooler. Then, they brought him Renshi's blade, which Po supposedly had made. Po had memories and visions of himself making the blade in his own future and the world's present, perfecting it for a year before handing it over to the founder of the first season. They reminisced, Po wondering how it was even possible that the boy he was in Water's Wake would become the man who made this blade. As night approached, Ajax left together kindling for the pyre. Well out, he felt a dark presence. I wrote present there. No. He felt a dark presence, and he was visited by Ares. Ares was let down that Ajax gave up his gifts to turn to the light and promised that they would meet again in war. He threatened to release the primordial titans of the pits of Tartarus in the coming days. He vanished, as Ajax was left to reflect on perhaps the most powerful dark friend they had met yet. Back in the inn, Cecily approached Po and tried to apologize for all the times she wronged his father back in Water's Wake. They talked a bit about Tyr, the past, and the future, and Po said that maybe this was the real reason the primordial bond sent him here, to have this conversation. He brought in Cecily for a kiss, and they spent some time together at the windowsill, together and at peace. Ajax returned to the group and broke the news about Ares, and then they all decided to head down and make the pyre. Bianca formed a door of flame and prayed at it until a portal emerged to Hades' throne itself. When she made her proposal, Hades said that the only chance they had of saving Renshi was for both he and Bianca to go through the trial together. Should they fail, both of them would be banished to hell. Even so, Bianca accepted this fate, and after saying goodbyes, she stepped forward to die so she could be sent down. And as she fell through miles of darkness and flame, she finally landed in Stygia and saw Renshi, seeing all 5 of his forms come together into Summer Renshi once again. And, as night fell in the Whispering Woods, Malice arrived and killed the priestess who failed to capture the 3 earlier in the day. She discovered that Clementine, another of the Forsaken, was the one using the Drider, and tensions were brewing between all of the Forsaken of Atarashi. But Malice was quickly able to break Clementine to her will and sent her to do her bidding from now on.
Thank you so much. Fantastic job. So instead of picking up in the tall peaks of Clan Shiroi in Atarashi, we're going to pick up in hell, in Levistus's sanctum. As Bianca and Renshi, the two of you say goodbye to the forerunners of fate. You're very thankful for the help that they gave you, and you wish them well on the continuation of their journey. After some verbal sparring between Bianca and her distrust of devils and Levistus, an individual who, with his newfound freedom from the iceberg he was trapped in, he couldn't help but poke the bear a bit, knowing a small amount of Bianca's history. However, the news is gained by Bianca that Issen is still alive, a thrall of the Dark One, having not been banished by Balefire, is able to return. Not giving any more details than that, since Bianca, smartly so, decided not to make a deal with the first devil she came into contact with that told her of this. But still, it's knowledge that she knows now. However, Bianca and Renshi, as Levistus looks to the two of you and smiles and says, well, it was great getting to know you, and I'm so sad to see us part so soon, but good luck on the rest of your journey, and hopefully things with Isons go well. Ta-ta. And with that, and a snap and a wisp of his fingers, both of you are enveloped in an icy cold mist and shot up through layer after layer of hell. However, you can feel each layer. The smells are so distinct to each one. The fiery smoke of the fourth layer, the acidic brimstone of the third layer, the acrid iron and blood-panged air of the second, and the fires and war that are left behind in the first layer. There's the moment you reach the veil, the moment between life and death. The veil is strong on purpose, so that way demons and devils fighting in the blood war can't escape. Lost souls can't pour back out into the material plane, but sometimes it happens. And with the gifts that you've received from Hades, Bianca, it makes it easier. However, Bianca, holding on to Renshi with the magic of Levistus, as you reach the veil, as you rip through it, you feel something beneath it, attached to it. The veil isn't like a thin layer of paper that sits between the material plane and the hells. It is its own realm, its own dimension that is infinite and finite all at once. It is a pinhole that souls funnel through either way. It is everywhere, it is nowhere. But one thing you do know, Bianca, is you go against the natural order in this moment. And you can feel the effect that that has. Renshi and Bianca, both of you can hear a voice, ancient, cold, unforgiving, not the dark one. You know what that feels like. This isn't something outside of existence. It is buried deep beneath it. As it speaks, it echoes to your core. All must die. The balance has been disturbed. Life burgeons unchecked. A cancer upon the canvas of reality. It is time for a great culling. It is time for death to reclaim what it rightfully owns. Your deeds, your struggles, your fleeting victories, they are but a last desperate grasp on a dying universe. This is not vengeance I seek, for vengeance implies emotion. A mortal folly, no. This is necessity, the cold, unyielding truth of existence. The cycle must be restored, and through me it shall be. The end comes for all, and I am its harbinger. Embrace this silence, for in the end, all will return to the death from whence it came. As you pass through the void, you can feel your entire world shift and change, break and snap and reform. As Bianca and Renshi, the two of you, re-enter the lifeless bodies you left behind in the material plane at the Karst Peak Lodge. For the rest of you, you are able to see the two of them begin to shift and move as if something is worming its way inside to their bodies. And then they're still. And then each one, a deep gasp of air. As Renshi and Bianca, the two of you, live. You awake, and you can see your companions standing over your forms. For the rest of you, they've only been gone maybe an hour or two. The sun is barely set in the sky from where it was. I mean, it's just right on the edge of the horizon. There's still light in the sky. So, with that, Bianca, Renshi, you've returned. And for the rest of you, you see them return. So I open it up to
Ajax walks slowly over to Bianca and kind of kneels down, holds his hand out to give her his hand, and says,
"You did it."
She'll accept his hand and like slowly get up. Yes, it worked. Crazily enough, there is so much to tell. How long were we gone for you guys?
About an hour.
Crazy.
Yeah, the
Definitely
longest
did-
fucking hour ever.
Agreed.
Renshi's back. He's good. And
Um,
also, because we didn't mention it, but Renshi was in winter form at the end there. Is
Mhm.
Renshi back as summer?
He is-
um,
back as Evan, I think I misspoke to you earlier. Let me message you real quick.
Ajax helps Bianca.
Yeah.
I have another
She's good.
bizarre
She doesn't seem
question.
too out of it or anything. Just kind of like a little bit like gaining your balance again, kind of. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Maybe like a VR headset, whereas like you're so used to seeing one reality, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, this is what's real, right?
Or like having a sleeping mask on, and then you finally take it off, and then it's bright lights, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah. You're like, crap.
where am I?
Okay, all right. So you can see that Renshi isn't in summer form. As he returns, his body shifts and malforms and change. And Evan?
so that worming into the body, like Joe described, is still happening. As Renshi is starting to, like, for lack of better words, wiggle a lot. And you're going to see, like, this spring or the summer version of Renshi, the golden skin, golden hair, start flashing into winter as his hair kind of spikes up frozen for a second. And his voice is going to change too. You're going to hear it go from like the young, like, oh, what's whatever, to like, no, it's just something's fighting inside of him. And then in the last second, still kind of asleep, you're going to see it all, like the winter start pulsing and kind of evaporate. And then green is going to return to his body, and his hair is going to turn back to his dark, messy green hair, like when you first met him. And he's back to spring Renshi. And he's going to kind of grab his head and start sitting up. What has happened? And he's going to be totally dazed right now.
Didn't have time to write a scroll. Sorry, bro. Or maybe there are scrolls. I don't know.
There are scrolls.
Oh,
But,
cool.
I don't think Summer was writing in any. I don't think any scrolls could have made it in and out of hell, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that he had a moment to write. Really?
No.
Things gotta happen fast.
Mm-hmm.
Summer and she draws pictures. Those were drawn.
Oh,
Okay.
cute. Bianca will, after Ajax helps her out, walk over to Renshi and say, "Okay, spring now. All right. A lot happened.
I can imagine. Summer. I mean, how long has it been? Did you meet autumn, winter?
Oddly enough, autumn was skipped.
He
All
was
right.
skipped.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. You're sitting, right? Yeah, let's all sit and try and go through what just happened. Because now it feels like Bianca's the only one that knows what happened. So,
No pressure.
yeah, it's okay. I think I got this. I think I got it up in the noggin. So Bianca's gonna go through and explain what happened. Where basically, Summer Renshi passed, whole Bianca packed thing, went to go get a soul. So Spring Renshi's caught up on that. When she went to collect Renshi's soul, he was all split into all seasons, including a fifth. That had more of a purple energy, and then all collided into one, in which was Summer. So then Summer and Bianca go. Wait, hold on. Bianca picks up that she finds tracks of familiar people and runs into the Forerunners, not the Runaways. Oh my god, the Forerunners, and we help them because they have a connection to get us out of hell. But we have to go rescue him. He's a devil lord. So while on our journey to do that, we learn a few things too that I'm trying to remember, where Lila brings up a lot of stuff about Eladrin stuff. And then the two of them connect about this potential fifth, because way of the fifth season, right? And then everyone's crossing wires about these primordial titans that were brought up. Okay, primordial titans that were brought up from
Cecily
when
will
Ares
offer Bianca some water.
has water.
Just furrowed brow the whole time.
Ares was like, primordial titans, let's go release them and everything. There is one of magic, and that is the fifth season. We're presuming that is the fifth season is connected to that primordial titan of magic. So, and there was something else, Joe, about that primordial titan.
There's a season of magic?
Kinda, because the primordials are seasonal energies, so I guess there are like... Joe, help me out here, please.
So continue saying this in and out of character.
No, I like the blend, but just because that is a lore thing that does the nomenclature and the specifics do matter a bit. There are elemental primordial gods, right? Titans, right? Earth, wind, fire, water, that each one is connected with a different season for their kind of respective area. But then there are ancient primordial beings of creation. So one of those was magic. One is life. one is death, and one is time. Those individuals are the ones that Ares spoke of in Tartarus that the Dark One aims to free. One of those is magic. One of those seasons is connected to, or one of Renshi's fifth season is connected to magic, or as the Way of the Fifth Season likes to look at it, as like magic and the Age of Legends. Like when magic is at its most potent in the world because of either this primordial titan or just in general, that is when the Age of Legends or the Age of Heroes happens. So yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Lila and Nalfian met up, not Lila, Bianca and Nalfian met up, and they're related. And they connected on that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Evan, am I forgetting anything else that happened in that mix that was... I feel like Renshi had some big stuff in that moment, but I don't know if I skipped over anything.
I think between what you and Joe said, I got the gist of it. Because this magic primordial may or may not have a connection directly to whether it's Season's Edge or folks of the Way of the Fifth Season in general. And what we wanted to do, Summer talked about how Spring mentioned in his scrolls that there might be a way for him to communicate with old wielders of Season's Edge. And he just discussed that as a possibility of perhaps knowing more about this connection. Because we think if we can communicate with those in the past, perhaps we would get more answers about this mysterious season or magic primordial.
And
but Poe is here too, and Poe has seen visions, and there was also the possibility of maybe she can trigger a vision out of Poe too.
And there was something as well about the start of the Way of the Fifth that was connected to this as well, and I don't know why I'm spacing on it. I remember...
Well, I mean, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but we talked about, wasn't it mentioned that Poe, when he created Season's Edge, may have tapped into this primordial magical energy to build that connection between it and the Way of the Fifth.
That was probably it then. That's probably what I'm thinking. So, and then I also don't remember, but like Lila brought up being... Do we need to go to Tartarus? Because Lila brought up potentially doing that, but we can touch on that later if it matters. And maybe that was a Isle specific thing. I don't remember why. So anyway, then we shortcut, free the Levistus. So he's the lord of his lair. And he brings up, because he's like, what the fuck's going on with Bianca with all the... Oh, and at that point, that's when Renshi skips over Autumn and turns to Winter, and Bianca's like, who are you? And he's just a little mean. So, he's a little mean, and Bianca's like, I'm still gonna save you, but you're kind of a bitch. So then Levistus is like, who's this Bianca person? I feel like I know all about you. Legend lores, figures her out, and then wants to make a deal with her because he has information on Isin, but Bianca's like, no, I know what that do. No, sir. And then he's like, well, fine, I'll just tempt you with the Isin information. Feel like those are the big beats that matter. Did I miss anything, friends?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Cameron got back right at the tail end of that.
Yeah.
I can get the cliff notes.
Repeat it.
That was the cliff notes.
That being said,
Run it back.
So for your homework assignment tonight, go and watch the previous season or the previous session.
The previous season. Just watch the whole book.
The whole season.
The whole aisle.
And then Bianca will bring up the voice, and I mean, I assume, okay, she'll say, Renchi, do you remember hearing that voice as we were trying to make it back to the material plane?
There's a lot that I remember, actually. I remember arguing with the other seasons and feeling summer fading. But I do remember that voice as well. It's kind of confusing, but I definitely heard it.
It spoke of the balance of life and death and that we've been going against it, but didn't sound anything close to the Raven Queen. Do you think it could have been that primordial existence of death somehow being able to reach us?
I think so. Like you said, it didn't feel... The word... It was primordial, at least in the way that it felt. It felt and sounded ancient. And horrifying. I think it would make sense. But why was it trying to reach out to us?
Well, there's been quite a few times that, at least in our group, me in particular as well, have cheated death. And I was doing it again with bringing you back. And his job is very similar to the Raven Queen's, to balance life and death. That might be why.
Sorry, I'm having like a brain blast right now. Hold up.
I want to hear it!
I don't even know how I can explain it in character because I don't know if it would make sense. Or at least I don't think it would make sense that Spring Renchi would put this together. Renchi's just going to kind of look around for a moment, a little overwhelmed, and kind of... You'll notice that he's shivering right now. And he's going to find the nearest blanket, if there is one, and just kind of be like, I'm sorry, I'm going to need a moment. And he's going to just kind of bundle up, go by a fire, if there is one.
Yeah.
Cool. Not trying to make a big moment, but I think having just transitioned from winter and coming back to life, he's feeling the residual seasonal transition of his Eladriness. But yeah, you're going to notice he's kind of lost in thought, as if something kind of got put together in his head.
Yeah, and Bianca will let him have his space, so she'll just kind of turn to everybody else and say, and that's what we know.
Well, that was quite a fucking hour.
Oh, it didn't feel like an hour. I don't know how long it felt, but like a day, at least.
So, you mean like people trapped in hell are feeling 24 times as much time go by?
Well, a lot of planes of existence run in a different time pattern. I'm not an expert in that, but some run slower, some run faster. So I didn't know how hell would I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
Time's never made any sense for us. I don't know why it would start making sense now. But it was quite the productive hour you had, I guess.
I guess for material plane standards, yeah.
Oh. Well, hell, we should do that more often.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
You know how much I could get done? All right, I'll stop.
Not to bring down the mood, but speaking of time, it seems like we're running out of it. If the goal is to release the creators, the titans of creation, Tartarus, that would destroy everything. Right?
I guess we really don't know. They're ancient. It feels like we definitely need to stop the Dark One from getting a hold of them. I don't know if they can even be converted to the Dark One or controlled. Are they purely entities? I mean, if what we heard was Renchi felt confident. I guess you can speak with them. They can reach out to you. I'm so unfamiliar. I don't know anything. I really don't.
It seems like a bad situation.
Joe, did we learn about the location of Tartarus while Bianca was there with them?
You did, yeah.
Okay, I'm mixing.
Yeah, it's okay. And you would know that Tartarus is the very last layer of the abyss.
Yeah. So, yeah, if people didn't know that, Bianca would bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
And Lila, who we were traveling with, she's something called a pathfinder. So she felt like she might be able to do that. Like she could maybe get us there, or them, whoever. So I don't know if there's a plan to go there or not. The other huge thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Keothi. Lila was able to get in contact with Keothi. She's in the astral sea. We think she's in a prison, right, Joe?
Everyone's prison.
Everyone's prison.
Oh,
and
bitch.
Yeah. And we need to send the silent shields to go get her. ASAP. That wasn't Bianca, that was Felicity. Rephrase that. We have to go get the silent shields to save her.
How long has she been there?
Well, Lila was only able to do sending, so there's only so much information she could get, but the fact that she could get a location at all, it's something.
Who are the quiet shields and how do we find them?
Don't we know about the silent shields?
Silent shield.
I think somebody might have been told about them.
Am I wrong? Is Carasilla not part of them? Do we not know? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
damn it.
No.
Carasilla, be both of them.
We could also...
Actually, no. Yes, hold on.
Are you a silent shield too?
No.
Oh, I was like, what?
Wait, that happened a couple sessions ago.
No, because when she was speaking to fucking Lorraine, he introduced himself as a silent shield.
Oh, that's
I was just like, think about that.
He did. That's why. See, I knew Cecily was not in the room. That's why I knew that much.
I was like, I thought we knew about it, but also Isles definitely knows about the silent shield, so I might just be mixing my...
It's okay. Yeah. Logan's bad at his job. We got this.
Also,
do we know anyone who knows the silent shields?
I feel like Carasilla might remember.
Carasilla? Carasilla, are you okay?
Breathe fast, Jesus. Okay.
She's choking.
Sorry. Fuck me.
Where's Alton?
I think. Well. I think I might actually know someone. And. Well, I doubt that they'd say no, given how important this is.
Okay, good. I'm just glad she's all right. The sooner the better.
Agreed. So, we don't know anything more than that it's a prison in the Astral Sea.
We know it is everyone's prison, but I don't think... Maybe if they're in the hells, but maybe Lila can help again? I don't know of any other Pathfinders. But
What does that even mean, a pathfinder?
you know, I don't know either, but she
They
said it
find
so
paths, it's
confidently
pretty
I trusted
straightforward.
her.
I was going to say it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, well, I'm fucking dense sometimes.
No, you're not.
Eh.
You'll just knock on his head, a little metallic hollow sound.
Bing, bing, bing.
He's got that lizard brain.
Like you're wearing a pot on your head. Just
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, whoever the Silent Shield people are, is there any chance they would just know? I mean, they sound important.
They're pretty secretive, but they handle a lot of out there things from what I've heard. Feel like it'll work out.
This is a Forsaken we are speaking of. Are they even strong enough?
Maybe they can connect with the Hidden Flame too, and then it can be a better fit group going. What do you think of that, Carasilla?
I think that if anyone's going to be capable of handling it, I imagine it's going to be them. I don't know enough about what they do. I feel like as much as everyone else here, but I know at least that they're a powerful group, connected to some powerful things. And it's always worth asking anyways. And so she will send a sending to Logain.
Mm-hmm.
We might need the help of the Silent Shields. Prison escape from the Forsaken everyone in Astral Sea. I missed my count. Let me just figure.
That felt like 12.
Which head?
Yeah,
Which
I'll
head
give you
am I on? Okay, yeah.
10, 13 more. It's cool.
Baker's dozen.
Oh, fuck me. We might know someone that could assist more as well. I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, you will receive a response from Logain, and he'll say, "Oh, wow." I will speak with the shields, but Keothi, you say it was Keothi or you say an ally?
I don't remember. I actually don't think I mentioned her.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, wow. I will speak to the shields about this. An ally of yours is an ally of ours. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I will be in touch. Bye. For that 25th word.
What a professional. I trust this guy.
Yes, should relay that. At least they're willing to help.
It's a start.
All right.
So we did what we could about that. We're panicking about Tartarus. Meanwhile, can I redirect our attention to what's happening tomorrow? No, we shouldn't get too lost in the sauce here.
Have we made any ground?
That's kind of my question. I know we did the arena thing. Seems like that's going to be a big help, but
And Carasilla was able to get some followers in the arts district for Lady Suzuki.
Mhm.
Wow, I didn't even look at my notes.
Look at
yeah,
that.
no, you got it,
Carasilla.
dude.
Yeah, Carasilla, you just for context, because you kind of blacked out for a bit because it was just so much. You before Renchi fucking died, you were performing in various inns and taverns to garner support for Lady Suzuki for the election for the next leader of Clan Shiroi. And which was going very well. No checks were needed. People automatically loved you. You just have that. You just have that electric personality. The other thing that Carasilla and Suna were doing is they were investigating the assassination attempt on Father Taroshi. And Carasilla hasn't had time to to share with what her and Suna found. But the thing is, there's been no word either one of you have been able to gather on any type of assassination attempt on Father Taroshi. Carasilla is a people person, and she has a fair understanding of rumors. And one thing that Carasilla, I think, would begin to surmise in her investigation is that she thinks the assassination attempt was maybe a rumor that was made up to elicit Father Taroshi having way heavier guard than what would normally be expected of a festival like this. Because right now he's walking around with, 4 heavily armored, large creatures that people just assume are big guys, but the party knows are the 4 Oni. So I would also say that's what Carasilla discovered in her investigation with Suna.
Well, we don't have nothing. But can't help but feel like we lost half of a day after things went sideways.
Well, we were able to do our 2 campaigns. We were able to gain knowledge about a supposed assassination attempt. And we know there is Dark One activity here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We know that Malice is here and that there was somebody else using her connections. Those Driders were not under her control, but we don't know who this other person is. So, I guess tomorrow we just try and continue to benefit our 2 politicians so that we just don't have to worry about if Father Hiroshi? Jesus Christ.
Hiroshi's our guy. Father Toroshi's the bad one.
Hiroshi. So that we don't have to
Their
worry
names are
about...
similar to...
Yeah.
It's Dark One rhyme schemes. He's making it hard to...
So
trying to fuck us
Father
up.
Toroshi, if he does get elected, we can like go from there. But if one of our two candidates win, theoretically we don't even have to worry about him. Unless he does something against them. Which we don't know if that's gonna happen.
This is a nighttime festival too, right? So we got tomorrow. I guess.
Yeah, we got the rest of the day to prep for the festival.
I'm trying to remember when we first found out about the Oni, there was something about like the seals of each of the Oni being around during this festival, or was it just like nearby this location?
Yeah, so in the oh my goodness, I'm really getting fucked up right now.
You're
I think it's what
struggling.
Suna told us when we fought the first one.
Yeah, in the Starlit Pagoda, there are shrines dedicated to each one of the Oni in the deeper parts of the curse connected to it. And if those shrines are destroyed, the curse is broken.
It doesn't affect the Oni themselves, just the curse.
As far as you and Suna know, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, like, if it breaks their curses, that would kind of affect the Oni, because then it weakens them in a way, right? Because they can't just go out cursing people.
That makes sense to me. I can't confirm neither deny, but
Doorknob.
the logic is there.
Neither doorknob. Yeah, well, okay. Cecily will look at Suni and say, I'm always down for some vandalism, so...
Especially after they vandalized me, referring to his spectral mask.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's go beyond vandalism. Destruction of property.
I'll get my bat. He pulls a wooden baseball bat out of the bag holding.
It's so funny that you would need that. It's such a weaker tool. But Cecily, she'll after that moment, she'll turn to the adults. Okay. I see the looks on your faces. We don't want to raise much suspicion before the festival and get in trouble before anything has a chance to happen, right?
I mean, if Toroshi is... If he's hinging on having Oni to support him...
I was thinking the same thing, Carousel.
Then destroying them the day off, the day that's most important for him, causing a little bit of confusion, a bit of chaos. I think that'd probably be the better plan.
Yo, we get to cause trouble? Fuck yes.
I mean, we've been working with disguises this whole time. We can just destroy the stuff looking like one person, and then Carousel does a little swappy swap, and then we're a different person, and then we go to the festival, and no one knows.
Does the seeming disguise cover the spectral mask that Suni has? I've never thought about that until right now.
It does, yeah.
Okay, just making sure if every single one of Suni's disguises is also just
Joe, are you going to recover? I just want to ask if you should
good.
Like, take a 5.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. It was just,
He
it
never
was,
recovers.
no, it was really funny. Gemma really like mind blanking earlier, and I haven't recovered yet.
Okay.
I will though.
Okay. You laughed so hard at the low gain situation that you're still dying? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, I have COVID.
Oh, see, that's why I asked like that. I'm like, that doesn't fully explain what's happening to you.
That's my
Okay,
excuse for
nice,
everything now. Whenever I don't want to do anything or whenever I'm tired, it's like, sorry, you can't. I got COVID.
Yeah. I quit a job like that. All right. Maybe shouldn't say that on a stream. Anyway, so
What'd I miss?
Cecily will say, we're going to destroy things. Cecily will say,
All right.
I have a feeling relics like this are going to be pretty guarded. There might even be people at them when we try to destroy them, so it's going to be quite the thing to not get caught. I mean, the disguises are great, but if we get arrested in the disguises, now we got to do a prison break too, and that's just a whole thing.
And then we just pick new disguises.
That's what
When
I
we're
said.
out of prison.
Breaking out of prison isn't that hard.
Yeah, but
We've
it's
done
a
it
whole
before.
complication. We have done. All right, fine. I'll stop being responsible. Let's go when the most people are there and just kick them until they fall down.
No, Cecily, I want to hear your train of thought. What were you gonna say?
Okay. My train of thought is that we need to figure out subtly, obviously, where they are, but also what they're made of and what kind of structures and supports they have so we can come up with how we're going to take them down and destroy them before we even get there. And then we need to suss out how public they are. We need to figure out how often they're visited, if there's guards, if this needs to be a hit and run, or if this needs to be a sneak in, sneak out kind of thing. And then, and only then, do we fuck up some shit.
So I'm hearing you say that you think we should plan ahead instead of just going in and hoping for the best? Because that sounds a little sus to me.
You know, Suni, I think part of growing up is that when you want to do something fun, you just got to plan ahead.
Well, what if now, Joe, does Bianca, with her alchemical background, remember any specific bomb that is like great against structures that she
Ooh, I
can
have
make?
Belvedere's book.
I love how you
Belvedere's
said
book.
bomb.
Yeah.
Joseph, could I make a bomb?
Can I make a bomb check?
Would you
Okay,
remember any?
Wait, no, never mind. I don't like
How
where this
do
is
you
going.
make
I feel
a
like
bomb?
I feel like this
Let
is
me
bad.
type that
feel
into
like
Google
this
real
is-
quick.
No,
See what...
I want to back up everything I've ever said ever. Like I don't want this anymore.
Revert to
Captain of the
Goo Goo
Guard
Gaga.
Ajax is getting very uncomfortable right now.
Because now it feels like bad. I don't like it anymore.
Well, there's the alchemical fire, which doesn't have to be a bomb, because he was like pouring it when, or at least in Belvedere's book, anyway. He was like pouring it down people's throats or whatever. So like, I don't exactly. We've used it as a bomb before, but I don't remember how. If like the mechanics of it say like auto. Go ahead.
Actually,
Sorry.
I think we made Cameron, if you remember this, we made
Mhm.
stuff for Ivana's fight that we never used.
Yeah, we never used
Yeah,
it. So I think
potion of alchemical
several of
fire.
us have them. I don't know if everyone does. Yes, Joseph.
Can I? Suna will sort of raise her hand. Can I say something?
Of course.
I've been to the shrines before.
Now you want to tell him.
Suni, a lot has been happening. 15 minutes ago, Renshi and Bianca were dead. I was trying to find a good time, okay? Okay. So, I've been to the shrines before in the Starlit Pagoda. So, not... Sorry, there's a lot of emotions. They are not to... Cecily, not to invalidate everything you just said, because in any other circumstance that would be really good to do, but the shrines to the Oni, they're kind of like a, I don't want to say dirty secret, but they're there out of necessity, because a lot of people, when they sin, when they do things that, in the eyes of the gods of Adarashi, when they do something that aligns with one of those Oni, with one of those great sins, they go there and they pray. They make offerings to those shrines. Nobody likes to go there, because anytime you do go there, it means you did something bad. So, there typically aren't that many people there. So what that means is we could easily get in. Destroying them is a little more difficult because they are magical. That's where the issue is. So you'd need some way to dispel the magic, and then you could destroy the statue. They're maybe they're gnome-sized, pretty much, and made of various types of stone, jade, marble,
Now,
like that.
when you say dispel the magic, would the magic spell dispel the magic in these magic shrines?
Yes.
What did you say?
I think I got it. Would the spell dispel the magic in this magic shrines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that does make sense.
Yeah, I think that would work, Suni.
Great. I know a guy.
Now
I even have
Younger
that spell
me.
prepared.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
The younger me would be shocked that I'm even asking this, but since there is the added layer of us removing, I guess, a piece of culture, is there any downsides to getting rid of these things?
Oh no.
Soon a no.
I think that, hear me out. If no one sees us do it, it could be seen as an omen from the gods. That the Oni are being cast down, and that individuals that follow a similar path could receive a similar punishment.
I mean, hey, all I gotta do is ask Tyr, and it kinda could be.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, you're right. I really should not.
It's just a little
Abuse
weird
that?
because Tyr is a Western salamander divine entity, and it feels very strange him coming to Adarashi to do that.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
I still don't know. I'm still wrapping my head around. Okay, it doesn't matter.
How difficult is it to get to where the shrines are?
Not very difficult to get there. It's just difficult to get there not being seen is all.
Cecily, you have a way of turning yourself and multiple people invisible?
It's usually just a me thing, but
a you
maybe
thing.
there's a way if I check my character sheet real quick. 4th level spells. Let's see the wording of that one. Because there might be a way if I just pull up the spell sheet. Yeah, so the range is touch, so I could twin cast it for 2 people.
What is the
2
range
people.
on how far away? Like, is there like if you go so far away it breaks?
No, it's so it's touch, so it'd have to be 2 people or her and one other person right at the top. But then you just you're invisible for the next minute until concentration's broken.
Would you cast that on Suna and I, and she could lead me down? I can dispel the magic and destroy the things, hopefully that quickly, and back up.
That might be good as long as no one's down there. You know what? Maybe it's good even if someone's down there, because then they can leave and be like, I saw the structures explode out of nowhere. And then everyone else is going to say that must be the gods. Unless it's like a wizard down there or something. Then you shouldn't fuck with them.
This might be metagaming. Actually, it's kind of metagaming. Don't you turn revisible when you cast spells?
Not with greater invisibility.
Oh, it's greater?
It's greater.
Never mind. I take back my statement. It was dumb of me to talk.
High
Now-
level D&D.
Cecily or Mark, this is more meta too. Just in case, if we wanted to send more people down there, are you you're still able to double concentrate because of your thing, right?
I am.
So
But
you could-
I believe. Well. Okay, hold up. No, this might get murky because when I twin cast haste, that's 2 concentrations, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Never
it
mind.
would already be
Be
a
2
double.
concentrations.
Yeah.
What
Gotcha.
if we hold hands while the two of us are invisible? That counts as one.
Is it like a contiguous like thing? As long as they're touching, the invisibility spreads.
Just.
Well, I mean, it's anything you're wearing as well, so like, you know, piggy.
There you go.
Piggyback
Cool.
ride. Oh,
Quick.
no.
Quick.
Amazing.
Let me wear you, Suna.
Oh yeah, Suna, the one who's totally cool with like physical touch. That'll be a good one.
Can seeming make you chameleon skin toned?
I feel like that's just
For
a
one
spell.
surface.
Tone.
For one surface, and then you move onto like a brick wall, and you're just like, shit.
So when you cast seeming, you can't change it, right? You can't
I
like.
think we're thinking too hard about this, guys. We should cronk it from
Okay.
Emperor's New Groove.
I say we just hammer time. We just run down there.
Thank you, Joe.
You don't have the hammers anymore.
It still counts.
It's spear time.
Spear time.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know
yeah,
what?
well,
You're the new Ajax. It's praying to God time. Okay?
I'll
It's
pray
going
for
to
It's time to
statues
pray.
away.
It's
Oh,
time to
it's
absolve
so
these
dear.
sinners.
Not anymore.
Poe has a hammer. We can hammer time that way.
I don't want you
Post
guys
step
to use
away.
that hammer for that. It's for forging,
the-
Suni.
What about the red one that I gave you?
The evil one, I destroyed it.
Yeah. Oh.
It was Suni. It was evil.
You have to stay away from evil hammers.
That's fair.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know
really
what happened to
cool,
him, but
though.
yeah,
It was
Nothing.
Really cool.
was what
I
happened to
think
him
it
really
made
cool?
things Come back from the dead.
Okay, so not to, bring us all back together or anything. So that is the
Suni's
first thing
fault.
we do. Poe. So that is the first thing we do tomorrow before the festival, right before the festival.
King's Festival? Sorry.
I feel like the less time we give them to notice and counterplan, the better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Question. 2 questions. First question. I was dealing with child when we were talking about destroying the statues. Is destroying these statues get rid of the Onis? Is that why we're doing it?
It
We are-
removed their
No.
ability to curse people. Maybe.
Okay, we don't know, but we're okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That
It
was first
could.
question. Could. Second question. What's stopping us from what time of day is it right now, Joe?
It's a cool 8 p.m. right now.
Nice. 8 p.m.
8, 9, yeah.
All right. Well, what if we hear me out? We go in the middle of the night. Freaking 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, stealth night mission. No one's praying at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if they are, well,
We'll kill
Well, if they are, it's going to be a
They just-
combat
they get to
encounter.
die.
That's what
They get
that's
to-
going to be.
but why don't we just go in the middle of the night?
I feel like there's a chance we run into nefarious people.
I think
We
there's
go in the middle of
that.
the night.
I also don't. If this weakens the Oni, I think Cecily just said this. Do we want to give them that much time in advance to be aware of what happened? I don't know. Like, is there an opportune time for him to have a slip in his bodyguards?
I mean, right before the festival, I feel like would be a good move. Like, if it, let's say the festival starts at 8 p.m. sharp. Let's do it at like 6:30. So that they're like,
I'm
for
down
the
with that plan.
next hour, they're like, huh?
I think we're also forgetting that if it's a festival, there's going to be less people around to begin with, anyways.
That is true.
And then I guess part 2 would just be to go to the festival, support our candidates, and similarly to for those of us who were in the past in Brahmsgrove, we kind of know what to keep an eye out for the most part. We know when to see like signs of suspicious activity. We can just scope out the festival in a group.
Yeah.
Or at least at bare minimum pairs. But no one's alone, and we just react with what happens. Unless anyone has a better idea.
I'm down with this idea.
I think that's fair. I think we just have to show up and be ready after we take care of everything.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna keep getting room service as long as I can. So, unless we have anything else to talk about.
As a group, I don't particularly have anything.
Okay. Glad you're back. I knew you
Glad
would
to
be,
be
but,
back.
you know. I mean, even if you weren't, we'd come get you, and then it'd just be a whole vicious hell cycle, but...
It would be. Thank you guys for trusting me. I know that was a lot to ask.
Trust you with anything.
Alrighty. So with that, as all of you kind of diverge for just a moment after your group conversation, Poe is going to approach Renchi, who's kind of been bundled up near the fire, and will just kind of sit down next to him very sheepishly and just say, "Hey, I just wanted to come and check on you, make sure you were all right. I know you and I don't know each other very well, but I just wanted to make sure you were doing okay."
You see Renchi is huddled up in his blanket. He has a hot tea that he's sipping on, and he has Summer's scroll spread out in front of him. And the drawings are super wacky. But he's saying, I appreciate your concern. I'm just trying to catch up with everything. And he's going to point at a drawing. And when I tell you this drawing is so bad, it's so bad, it's so good. There's this character who is super strong, holding this awesome sword that is Season's Edge. And there's like a hammer in his other hand and like a little anvil thing. And Renshi's going to point at him and say, I'm assuming this is you.
I guess I see the resemblance, yeah. My biceps aren't nearly that big, but I guess I could get there one day. This is what people think I'm supposed to look like.
Well, yeah, Summer's not very good with letters. He can
They're-
read, but
They're good drawings, at least.
they're entertaining, that's for sure.
They're very fun, yeah.
Well, then I'm assuming, and he's going to pull out Season's Edge. This is your creation.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. Do you mind if I take a look?
Please. And he's going to hand it to Poe.
I find that, and he kind of softly takes it, very gingerly. I find that a lot of weapons, magical or not, it sounds really dumb, but they bond with the people they're made for. Right? Because there's a difference when you go to a merchant and just buy a sword because you need protection versus when you are part of the process of making one. I mean, it feels like it's yours. It feels like even if the sword isn't magical, it's connected to you still. And when you weren't, even though the sword wasn't alive, I could still feel it had a connection somewhere. And so I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to see if that changed at all when you were back, and it did. It is very much alive, and that's definitely the mark that I use whenever I make things. You can see it on, and Poe will kind of lift up a flap of fur that had kind of undone from around his collar and show right on the edge of the breastplate he wears. Right there, it's the same mark. I made this mark on this armor when I was, well, I guess I wasn't that much younger. It was maybe like a year ago. But it's the same mark. And I don't know. There have been times and places where I've been where people have asked me to make them weapons when they find out that I'm in a Noah, and I always ask them what matters most to them, what they care about most, what they love and cherish, what they think gives them strength. And so that's what I try to put in the weapons, I try and take a piece of them and put it in the weapon and hope that they feel a stronger connection. So
You heard the words that Bianca shared with us, right?
I did, yeah.
So there is a possibility that you may have put a piece of something primordial into this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something else, isn't it?
I know you're dealing with a version of you that you have not met yet. Your future self that seems to be living in the past. I can relate to that. There's 4 and now possibly 5 of us that have a little bit of trouble communicating. But like you, we leave signs. Yours is your mark. For us, it's these scrolls and some fleeting memories. Think now more than ever. It's important that you try to connect with this other version of yourself. Something happened when you made this blade. Questions that we have now can be answered with whatever happened in the moment that this was created. I know it's a lot to ask, but
Yeah, no,
If you
I
can
mean, I hear what you're saying, I do. But I'll try, okay? It's just a really strange situation, I mean, old me only shows up whenever he needs to. It's not exactly like he checks in, make sure I'm okay. He just kind of pops around. I don't even know how he does it, but he does. But I'll try. I will. I'll try and reach out. I'll see if maybe Varnast or Cyrus can try and help me communicate with him, but I don't know how sending works when you're using it to send to yourself,
well, listen. Sometimes you do not need to reach out to, and only you and I can understand what I'm about to say. Even though a version of you has the answers, You don't always need to communicate with them to receive it. Because at the end of the day, you are them. And at some point, you will start to become them. Maybe I'm not asking you to communicate with your older self, but more asking once you start finding the answers in yourself. Because at some point you do, definitively you do. Make sure you tell us.
I will.
I have some ideas on how I could get answers myself. And I will try to share them with you, as you are a piece to this puzzle.
And if I learn anything, I'll definitely share it. Man. Seems like no matter how far away I go, I can't escape older people giving me wisdom. Older? Actually, because the one that I saw was younger, or like my...
I think between the two of us, you are definitely older, but it's going to start getting confusing.
I guess if you add up all the years, yeah, I could see that.
But I've had enough experiences and been around very intelligent people, thanks to you, to acquire this wisdom.
Yeah,
And,
they are pretty smart.
and I also have to thank you for the company of your friends. They talk very highly of you, considering what Summer has drawn in the scrolls. You're important to them.
Yeah, maybe just a little. I think, yeah, I think they're pretty cool too. And
All right.
kind of sighs. And Renshi, did you have any other questions or ideas you wanted to share with Poe?
I think that covers everything.
Okay. Because at about that moment, there is this kind of almost pop, like a bubble popping, and all of you can see right near Poe's head a portal opens, head-sized. Out pops a head, deep purple skin, long black hair about down to the shoulders, curly, luscious locks with this strand of white that curls around from the front. A very like scruffy, handsome 5 o'clock shadow beard. Head pops out and says, "Oh, there you are, Poe. I think you should know there is a very angry Alec looking for you right now. Decided to run away." No, I got sucked in through a water hole portal thing. Cheeky. Yes, you don't have to lie to me. It's okay, tell the truth. And he kind of looks around. Oh, there's people here. Hello. It's very nice to meet all of you again. I can't remember. Well, you have 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, I will be returning, and I will be returning with Alec. So either prepare for a fight or prepare to tuck your tail between your legs and go home. All right? Ta-ta, Cyrus! Poe, I want to say my name. Okay, no.
Red, I want to...
He's so drunk.
He's
I wanna
so
paint the picture.
self-absorbed, he calls everybody his own
Yeah.
name.
I want to paint the picture of Cecily approaching Poe and Renshi with a plate of noodles she got from room service, and then immediately dropping it on the floor in shock when a head appears from the void. God, that must have been horrifying.
Who was that?
We've met him. I think Ajax was there too. Cyrus, he brought Varnast back.
Oh, now I
We've all
remember.
met him.
He's
except for
usually
Ren.
not a head in the sky, from what I remember.
I don't
But,
remember
yeah.
him being ahead either. I have a bad memory.
That's okay.
Wh-
I'll keep
um,
things in place.
So you're going then?
Unless I want to fight Alex Silverfoot, daughter of Logan Silverfoot, chief of Congiato and high chief of all of the tribes of Afera, warden of Afera,
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, you don't have
warden
to do
of
it.
the
It's-
Gemstone Archipelago, destroyer of Korvac. And,
Oh, it's fine.
oh man. Oh, do you really think I made her that mad? Do you think I'm gonna have to? Oh God. What do you think?
Do
my
you want us
punishment-
to fight her with you?
No,
We're not.
Ajax, I think you're a really cool guy, and I don't want you to die, okay?
We
Again,
already went through that once.
apparently.
No, you beat me to it.
Great minds.
It was a joke.
Look, Poe, just... You don't even have to come up with a lie, okay? You just tell her what happened, you got sucked into a water hole, and now you're here, okay?
Do you think she's gonna believe it though? I mean, it sounds really fake.
Well, isn't from what they fall they're connected with the Stichia, right? Like all the primordial gods.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're primordials. Well, we're not, you know what I mean. We're in with the primordials. So you just...
I'm sure it'll be fine, Poe.
I think she likes us, too, as far as I can tell.
I've never met her.
Oh, what's your face doing?
Huh? What? Sorry.
All right, we have 5 minutes.
I'll get
And-
3 now.
I would love to sit here and help you not panic, Poe, but I'd rather just say how nice it has been to see you, whether it was this brief or not. And I know this isn't goodbye, see you later, but I'm really glad, despite maybe the wrath you're about to receive, I'm glad we got this opportunity.
Yeah. I agree. And, if Alec does carve me navel to neck, at least I got to see all of you one more time.
Don't think she's gonna do that.
No, you're right. And no, I'm very happy that I got to see you, Bianca, and Desmond's busy over there. I guess I'll hopefully get a chance to talk to him before Alec gets here. And the rest of you too. Carasilla, Ajax. It was nice getting to formally meet all of you, as opposed to just Carasilla. I know that you've been very helpful in communication with Cecily and I. So whenever the water wasn't there, so thank you for that. It's very nice of you. And Ajax, keep up the good work fighting.
Thanks.
It's always harder with people
It
you
wasn't.
don't know as much,
I understand. It was nice to meet you too. I've heard plenty things about you. It's nice to put face to an idea.
Yeah. And then his eyes will kind of fall to Cecily last. So, guess this will probably be, goodbye for a minute.
Yeah, maybe even 2. She'll,
Honestly, might be 3.
she'll take a little shift forward. Just don't try to lie to her, okay? We know how bad you are at it, and then you'll definitely get cut in half, so just...
I'm great at lying.
You couldn't even say that.
You're right.
Oh. You'll be fine.
You see he does kind of melt a little bit. Not in a nervous kind of way, but in an anxiety melt away kind of way. And say, yeah, I know. small asterisk. I think I'll be fine eventually.
Well, I'll try to message again soon. I mean, there's a lot of water around these parts, so.
And, if I ever near a sudden strong gust of wind, I'll try and whisper some words your way.
Hey, she'll take another couple steps closer. And people can hear, but she'll lower her voice a little bit. This, I don't know. I feel like I have to tell you this, this scares me a lot. It's not that I'm not, happy. It's just, I mean, I can look back now and see all of it, and it's really obvious. I've been feeling something all the way back in Water's Wake, and I didn't know what to call it yet, and I'm just terrified. This scares me more than getting stabbed, and I've been stabbed, so if I'm ever weird, just because I don't know how to do this. But I wanna try.
Well, Cecily, and he'll take a step closer to you and say, I think that's kind of the funny thing. Is even when you were pretending to be blind and taking money from me and my dad, and all of the days and weeks and months after that, I didn't need to try. I just felt. And even when it was hard, it was easy. I don't know the next time that I'll get to see you like this. And you don't need to say it back, but Cecily, I want you to know very deeply and truly, I love you so much. And I'm so happy for the day when all of this is over. And it's just about us. And I think at that point, Poe would lean in.
She's actually gonna
Oh,
put up a finger as he leans in, and she's gonna say, with just shaky breath, "Let me do it this time." And she will now, for their third kiss, she will initiate it.
Oh.
And she'll be shaky and slow, but
oh,
she'll try.
Lovely. Beautiful. A wondrous, happy moment shared between the two of you. However, as the two of you break and separate for just a moment, the portal opens once more. As bounding out of the portal, you see a woman, 6'3", 6'4", long, fiery auburn red hair, war paint, like horrifying war paint. You do not know if it is red paint or blood. Wielding a massive great sword on her back that is battle hardened. Trouncing next to her is a dog that I can only describe as a mix of German Shepherd and Pangolin, where it is the shape of a German Shepherd, but it has the scales of a pangolin on its back. You can see the dog baring its teeth, growling. Alec, Silverfoot, growling, baring her teeth. Powassa and Noah. There you are, running away. What, was the training too hard? Did you not think our mission was important enough, Powassa?
Listen,
Okay, I get it.
I totally didn't. I didn't run away. There was water. I was whisked across lots of other water.
You can
and
see
spit
Morning
out.
Light is walking around you, just
Okay.
growling up towards you.
I swear I did not do it on purpose. I didn't run away. I was brought here. I tried to get back. Everyone here will tell you. I even said I got to get back to Alec, and
We
I know.
can vouch for him.
He's totally running away.
He
But
did
just-
try.
The Dragonborn said you were running away.
Zuni, please.
A
He's a
metallic dragonborn
fucking.
would never ever lie.
He's a rascal. Poe was brought here. It's a
Zuni,
primordial thing. The water and the air. It happened. Okay, you know primordials, right? Yeah.
and
Do
just
I
so you
know about primordials?
Oh no.
When I am done with him, Cecily, right? You are one of Emerald's students. You're next. Poe, here, now.
Poe is just not saying a word. His head's down. He's just gonna walk towards Alec.
You, pointing to you, Suni. What's your name?
Dooney,
Thank you, Suni. Powassa. Tell me again, clearly, straightly, what happened?
I was around water. I was sucked into the water. I was spit out here, drenched, wet, walking around, lost. And then I heard my voice, and it happened to be my old friends. And I reunited with them, and even though it was great, I made sure to say, I gotta get back to Alec. Alec's gonna be worried.
Stop. Tell me again.
The same story?
Tell me what happened
Yep.
again.
Okay, I was, whisked away. I found
Were
my
you
friends.
whisked away, or was it water that took you away? Why is your story changing, Powassa?
Water
I
was
think if you're
definitely
gonna keep
involved.
grilling him, it's not going to get you anywhere. If you wish to pick a fight with anyone, it would have to be with the water and wind itself.
You think I haven't before, Gleeman?
Well,
probably
clearly
one,
didn't
too.
win that war. Either way, it was love that brought him here, I think. And so that's another force you'd have to contend with.
Was it your girlfriend? Did she convince you to run? Was it this one? The little one?
Alec, you did not get me to run away. But I can't deny that she wasn't a part of it.
You can't deny that she wasn't a part of it.
Hold on,
So
let
she
me just
was
think about what
a
I just said.
Part of it? All right.
Suni,
Oh,
stop.
all right. You see, she breathes. You can see that barbarian rage building up and de-escalating as you see the portal's still open. You can just see Zamir just back in the portal, just darling, please, just relax. It's okay. A little love brought him here. Isn't that just so sweet? Oh, young love. Oh, come on. Listen, I know things worked out differently between you and Sigurd, but that doesn't mean you should take it out on him. You see, she turns around.
Oh, that Cecily's perked. She's like, huh?
Do not bring her up again, Cyrus. Okay? You see, Cyrus kind of leans over to you, Poe, and kind of winks. All right, well, maybe if you wouldn't have been so angry about love, maybe things would have worked out differently. I am not done with you, Cyrus, okay? All right, darling, but you better make sure that your bark is backed up by your bite because, let's be honest, we both know who bites harder here. And it's morning light. You can see Morning Light is just looking up at Alec like, give me the word. Tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Bianca's gonna turn to Carousel and be like, I thought our group was only the nuts one, but this is so refreshing.
At the joke that Samir tells, you do hear Ajax go.
Alec turns back to you, Poe, and says, but you're all right.
I'm more than all right.
Blink once if these are all dark friends.
Starting now or?
Okay, all right. She just like shakes her hand and shakes her head. We really need to thank you all for keeping him safe for the time that he was here.
You can't say blink
Anytime.
once. He needs to blink.
Just don't blink.
Oh God. Oh, I'm sorry. That just.
Alex's intelligence was 9 in the campaign, I think so.
No, that's-
Cecily's 10. Apparently, that's the blink once threshold.
It's,
I
you know, it's
love
the negative
low-end
modifier.
Yes. She has the flat roll.
All right. Okay. Please, next time, Poasa, you want to visit your friends, just tell me, and we can work with Varnast or Zamir, and you can visit them. But just please, not in the middle of a particularly dangerous mission again. Please?
I mean, like I said in my story, it wasn't intentional, so I'll definitely try.
All I
But
can ask
I
of you
can't-
is to try.
Okay, listen. I'll just make sure from now on, any conversation we have, we resolve it. There's nothing hanging in the air. Okay, there's no reason for the powers that be to plop you out here. He was damp, by the way. That wasn't just like a detail. He was wet.
Mm-hmm. Is that all?
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know if this makes the situation better, but to make sure you know it wasn't wasted time, even if I did run away to come here, I'm just saying if that was a possibility, I'm not saying that I did, it was worth it, okay? We can talk more about that later.
Oh.
Listen, if he ever does go missing again and ends up here, I promise to you that we'll get word to you as soon as we know.
Thank you. I wouldn't be so angry about it as I am, but Poe was entrusted to me by Estitia herself. By my ancestors, I am to protect him and train him. So he must understand how important it is that he not fall into the wrong hands or end up in some place that is too dangerous that I can't help protect him.
Well, hey, I don't know how close you are with Esticia, but maybe you can ask if they're the one that sent him here in the first place.
I do not think so, because that was one of the first individuals I reached out to. If Poe was sucked here by wind and water, then it was probably some other type of force of nature that brought him here.
Perhaps a primordial. I'm just kidding. Not saying that.
Cyrus will say, "Well, I think it's just obvious, don't you, Alec? I mean, look at them. It was love."
Poe is blushing so hard.
Oh,
He's
his
just-
little girlfriend. Oh, that's so nice.
Cecily, she's angry. She's like, "Who are you again?"
Oh, I am Cyrus Dragu. I am the son of Emeril. Yes, hello. I was his 12th student.
Anger gone. Oh shit! I'm a student of Emeril.
Yes, it's so nice to meet you. I've read scrolls about your work. Emeril said you were feisty. So was
Oh.
I.
He said that? That's cool. Well, so
Yes.
I've also met Sigrid. Wait a minute. I'm upset at you. No, scratch all that. And she's gonna, like, just turn away from him.
Oh, little pouty face. Oh, so sad. Well, wonderful. It was great to meet you, Alec. I think my portal is starting to run out of time. Magic isn't supposed to work this way, but we're really stretching this out, aren't we? Yes, we should return back to Afera. Thank you all for helping keep Poe safe.
Always. Never a problem. We can babysit again in the future. Just your people contact my people.
Babysit.
Thanks.
It's a
It was
very
good
apt
seeing
way
all
of
of you.
putting it.
It was good seeing all of you. Suni. And Poe's gonna turn away.
Well, fuck you too, man.
What did you do to offend the Dragonborn?
Everything.
You are Suni, correct?
That's correct.
I have heard a lot about you. I will make sure to drill him extra hard if he has offended you.
Oh, he's offended me. He's
Suni,
offended my
stop
Suni.
right now.
and
This is
Suni.
not.
given honor.
Alec,
Rooney.
the portal. We should really
Rooney.
get back.
Okay,
Yes.
Alec, the story behind Suni, as they're going to
Yeah,
the
it's
portal, Poe's going to be explaining the whole.
Bye-bye.
He's not what you think. It's
After it's
I'm
already
sure.
closed, Cecily's gonna be like, "Don't get between them!"
All right. With that, Poe and Alec and Morning Light make their way out. Zamir closes the portal, letting it close around his head as he waves goodbye to all of you once more, leaving you within the room. Poe
Well,
having
that was interesting.
departed.
Cecily lays on the floor.
I think she was nice.
No, I get the desire to
Dog
lie.
is cute.
It was nice to see those fantastic heroes in action. Well, not really in action, but I guess in,
Almost in action.
yeah, near action.
Carasilla, that was a fun line about fighting the wind and water itself.
Yeah, you got her with that one.
Lines is my thing, so.
Renshi, he's huddled up, but he's been watching. Suni, was that your friend or was that your enemy? I'm kind of confused at what your motive was there.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's obviously my friend, and it's a friend's obligation to, push your friend's really horrible and in mean-spirited ways. So I just thought, because of that obligation, I needed to make sure he got some extra practice and drilling in.
I see. Well, I'm glad to be your acquaintance.
Damn. That was some Oscar Wilde shit right there. That was good.
Got him.
Damn.
End the session. End the session.
That's the best dialogue
Suni
exchange.
Just-
Suni just.
Yeah, Suni's very much just like mouth open, hand on his chest.
Oh,
He'll
And
just
just
turn
if I
around
can't
and
take
walk in the other direction.
Yeah, Cecily, I think it's like a slow break out into laughter. It just builds as she realizes how devastating of a burn that actually was.
And Rinshi's going to start smiling a little bit and laugh a little bit too. It's what friends. It's what friends are supposed to do. He said it himself.
Whip his head back around. Friends, you say. And he will lick his eyeball.
The signature soon.
I like that.
As the group starts to wind down, unless someone else had something in mind, Bianca would go to Renchi to check in on him, but it's not pressing. So I don't know if anyone else had something they wanted to do.
Oh man, Cecily's just laying on the floor sighing now.
Okay, all right. So then, yeah, Bianca, you're easily able to go over to Renchi, who's still sitting on the couch near the fire, and check in on him.
Well, it seems like you kind of were able to perk up a little bit there, but has the whole event just been hard on you? I don't know what it's like to change seasons or...
Yeah. It was good to be reminded who I left when I let summer come in. You're all great friends. So, it's good to be alive to see that. And there's another cup by his tea, and he has another one, and he's gonna give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping we could talk. It is hard changing. It's easy to forget because it's not often. That winter would let me come back, especially so quickly. It just seems, for a little bit after, I can still feel his cold. But there's something deeper. When we heard that voice, it's like I said, and like you said, it's like nothing I've ever heard before, but it felt familiar. Not the same as anything I felt before, but did you hear anything when you saw Summer talking to us in hell?
Did Bianca, Joe? Am I forgetting something?
I mean, the biggest thing would have been when you first arrived, you would have seen the 4 individuals looming over Summer, and the 4th individual that you had not ever seen before or had no mention of, you could see them reach down towards Summer Renchi and touch his head and sort of protect him.
Okay, so she'll bring that up again onto him, but say, I don't recall hearing anything, though.
I only remember a little. And it was the first time I can remember us ever being around each other. I could feel autumn, which I've never felt before. I could feel summer more vibrantly than I ever had, though I could also feel him fading. Autumn felt it too. It was a struggle to figure out what was happening. But then winter came. And instead of fighting for Summer like us, clinging to figure out what was happening, trying to stay alive, he said things. Despairing things. And I felt the cold in his words. The same cold I feel now. The same cold I felt in that voice. It's not the same.
But is it Winter still you? How can there be such a strong opposing force if it's still Renshi?
While we're all the same, we've all lived very different lives. Summer, I'm sure, has the same spirit that I had when I was younger. Maybe he has an affinity to things that maybe I didn't when I was around his age. But even Summer's life, from what I can read in these stories, he sacrificed a lot for us. A sacrifice that is very different from all these other seasons of Renshi. Winter does not share with us. He never has. But I know this despairing feeling that I have is his. So to answer your question, he is Renshi, but he's a Renshi that has gone through a lot. And I fear he has come to some grave conclusions. What was he like when you saw him?
He was very harsh. He seemed to almost doubt that Summer Renshi could handle what was going on. We had a handle on everything, but there was a pit fiend and a few devices we had to destroy in order to release. I forgot his name entirely. Oh my, Levistus. Oh my god. In order to release Levistus. And though things seemed to be in our favor, he still, I don't know if it was because what happened to Summer Renshi before the house or what necessarily triggered it, but he was cold, he was distant, and untrusting. We didn't converse much. Once we got to Levistus's, I guess you could call it a castle of some sort, we didn't speak.
So I guess you know as much as I do about him.
About? I will say cold, it can hide things that you need to break apart and get to the core. And since he is a part of all of you, I'm sure it is there that you can dig down deep if you're still feeling that remnant of winter. And maybe winter just doesn't realize that ice and cold is just another element. It's not necessarily harmful. And as the seasons change, yes, the flowers die and animals hibernate and things seem to go into a slumber, but there's still a beauty in that quiet. He might just be lost.
Maybe. Thanks, Bianca. He's going to sip his tea.
She'll try it too.
When you taste it, it's going to taste very... Oh man, this is not going to be good.
It's bad tea?
Oh no, just the way I'm about to describe it.
Okay.
Just think... Oh, this is going to suck. Fireball. Yeah, except...
It's Bengal spice, baby.
It's just, it's spicy.
Yeah, I get you. It's ginger. Got a little ginger in there.
It's his favorite. It's, the same tea that he described back when he was around. I forget what I called it, but something along the lines of like, I think I had the leaf that it was made from. There's something like called like fire tongue or dragon's tongue leaf.
I remember you talking about it.
Um,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's all I was going to say.
Okay. Yeah, I think Bianca will just kind of, in a way, reiterate, but say, I grew up with a family that ran from everything and tried to protect me, what they thought was protect me from the horrors of my history. But similarly to how all of you feel, all 3 seasons about winter, that never was gone because of the distance that was put there. And I understand that if winter opened up more, maybe all of you seasons would be able to, or feel willing to connect with him, but I had to choose to seek it out because my family was not going to be the ones to make that step. And it was a hard journey, but I healed. Or am healing. There was a lot of damage that happened. And ironically enough, it was an endless winter that was encompassing everything. But I don't hate the cold. It's sad what it reminds me of, but you should never forget that darkness. And maybe winter feels like he can't connect with you. I don't know if summer Renshi in a way has been protected from maybe that potential ruining of his innocence in a way. He seems to have a very bright outlook on life, which is beautiful, and anyone would want to protect that. It's some of our best memories growing up, right? But at the same time, ignoring it doesn't make it go away. I don't know how you can connect with him, but it seems like he needs help.
Renshi's just eyes glued to the fire, listening. And you can see a little bit of a tear run down his cheek. And he's just going to say, "Thank you, Bianca. You've given me much to think about."
Of course, and if there's anything I can do, related to this or otherwise, I'm here for you. I only went to hell and back for you, so.
I am forever in your debt for that.
No, you're not. Just live. And she'll kind of give him a good pat on the shoulder, kind of letting him know she's there, but give him some time to think and some more space. But take her tea, because spicy is good. And let him be with his thoughts.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So, with that, Bianca, you leave Renshi just to be with his own thoughts as the rest of you kind of split up for the night. Now, is anybody doing anything on the rest of this evening before the festival tomorrow?
Yees. So I know Renshi and Bianca just had their little thing. While that is going on, I think Suni's going to approach Ajax. Unless this might take a while, so does anybody have anything else that they wanted to do?
I'm still laying on the floor.
Okay.
Depending how long yours takes, I might talk to Ajax too, but it also
Okay.
can wait, so.
Oh my God,
Okay,
I'm so popular.
So popular. So Suni will kind of like at first just be, kind of like sad about Poe and all that. But eventually, he will get up and find Ajax wherever he is, and we'll just, I guess, pull him away from, at least from the two of them who are talking, and we'll say, "Hey, could you do a favor for me?"
So yeah, Ajax would probably be outside right now. He's probably praying, doing his little nighttime routine pray. So as he kind of gets up and looks behind him, says,
Of course. Anything.
There's something I'd like to try to do tonight, but I don't want to do it alone. So if you could maybe help keep an eye out for me, that'd be really helpful.
Of course. Am I allowed to know what we're doing?
Yeah, I've been waiting a while to do this because I'm a little scared. But I think before tomorrow is probably best. I'm gonna try to connect with some of my past lives. I've done it kind of once before, but I want to maybe, I don't know, try to talk to someone.
Of course.
Okay.
Wherever. Whenever.
Are we in that little like meadow area that we like?
That was
had
in
been
the
that
other
was
place.
Mhm.
There are still small garden areas on the terrace connected to the building, though.
Places that are like pretty isolated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Then yeah. So I guess I would find if that's where we are, we can stay there. But if that's
Mhm.
not where we are, Suni would lead them to that position.
Yeah, you guys can get to a more isolated position also.
Cool. No doubt. And sorry.
Gwen Stefani.
I know. I was also just like my brain was like, oh, I just read something about Gwen Stefani saying something about no doubt recently. But anyway, not important. Not that Gwen Stefani's not important, but yeah. So he will just I guess before he does, you'll say, I guess, is there anything you would want me to ask my former self since you're here?
Not particularly.
That's fair. No burning questions of the past, however many years, lifetimes.
That is a good question. How many past yous are there?
At least 2, but probably more like several hundred. I don't know.
Well, that's a question you should ask.
That's fair. How many? Okay. It'd be interesting to know. Hopefully this shouldn't take too long. I don't really know what this process will be like, so just bear with me here. You can meditate with me if you'd like to, but thank you for being here. And Suni will like sit and zone in to like. Oh shoot! Sorry, let me read something real quick that I wrote down earlier to make sure I. Okay. I guess I just want to, being in Adarashi with like the trees and the wind and all that kind of stuff that he'd been like speaking with the trees earlier, I want to just very much like connect with like the breeze as it like passes Suni and kind of like put himself into like some frame of mind like surrounded by trees trying to connect to a life using the natural landscape around him. Is there anything more specific of a thread that I need to try to find? Okay.
No, just to kind of get your basis and establish that connection.
Yeah. He's not looking for a particular Suni, but just the first one that he can connect to.
Yeah. So, Suni, as you begin to focus in on that, you can feel this inner eye open. As you close yours, you begin to picture something very vividly in your mind's eye. An area that you are familiar with, that you've been before, a place that you know connects you to the other Sunnis. The dense forest, leaves and trees and flowers of blue and purple and green and gold. A small, overgrown church, and a myriad of tombstones, each one dedicated to each one of your lives, in service of Elowen, and sadly some not in her service. The wind of the karst cuts away, and all that is left is the sounds of night. So, Suni, you vividly are connected to yourself in this moment. You sit in the middle of this field. What do you want to do?
And it's just the field with all the headstones, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to find the one labeled Suni the Stalwart. If there is one with such a label.
Mm-hmm. There is. And you can count 12 headstones, by the way.
Okay. Somewhere between 2 and 100. Like
yeah, you were right. Like you were, I don't want to say right on the money. You were
I was around
in the range.
up in the range.
Yeah. So you find the tombstone that is Suni the Stalwart. It is quite old. One of the older tombstones.
And he will just crisscross applesauce sit down next to it or in front of it, and will cock his head at it and say, hello?
Suni, as you reach out, a connection is formed. and you can see in front of the tombstone begins to apparate a dragonborn similar to you in some ways, but very different in others. You are quite lithe. You're dexterous. You are more of a smaller frame. You have a light, fun air about you, most of the time. The dragonborn that forms in front of you is the idealized version of a dragonborn. Wide jaw, built like a barnyard, huge, wide, muscular, covered in plate armor with a sword across their lap. As they apparate, you can see they are these twisting shades of green and gold, a spirit speaking with you.
Well, Suni, I had wondered when you would reach out to speak with any of us. I am honored that my newest self wishes to speak to one of the oldest. Hopefully I can transfer onto you the wisdom I have learned in my many years.
He will give a very deep and long bow and say thank you for sharing this wisdom with me. It's a great honor to meet you. I'm sorry that it took me so long. I was a little scared, I guess.
Nothing to be afraid of, but I must admit I am shocked. I thought you would be, well, not so reverent. I thought you'd be more silly. You see, we have some idea of how our future selves will act. And I thought I had seen that in you, but I was wrong. First time for everything, wow. I suppose.
I'm pretty silly, I gotta say. But there's just so much missing where I suppose you all are for me, and that's what scares me, so I guess I'm not so silly right now.
Each one of us is without something that the others have. It is strange, almost, to be reincarnated in the Mother of Mountains' image, and to do her will, we need to leave something behind, something that is a part of us. The silliness is what I left behind. Great minds think alike. I thought that, given that I was the second, joy and levity, it was something that I did not yet earn. I was destined to be a protector. I was destined to be stalwart in my duties. I did not have time for love and joy. I was meant to be alone, to keep those that needed it safe.
What about Sultana?
Perhaps that is where much started to go wrong. The memories of the previous life are most clear to me, the first life. The betrayal. Not of her, but of me. We did terrible things. We were the ones who fell from grace. It was Sultana who saved us, who allowed us to be redeemed in the Platinum Dragon while she toiled away underneath the great chromatic evil. I thought the greatest kindness I could do her was to leave her behind. I was wrong. I ended her life without mercy, as I thought it was my duty. It wasn't until she perished by my blade that I realized the mistake I had made. But it is
What
the
led
cycle.
to that? Do we all kill Sultana?
If you are asking the question, then I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but yes. In all lives but one, we have killed her, because it was what we needed to do, to fulfill our duty to the Mother of Mountains. It is the cycle that is demanded of us to maintain balance.
The world's so out of balance, I can't imagine that one extra person changes that much. Is it really that necessary?
Do you know how much weight it takes to bring scales out of balance?
Not much, I suppose.
You are correct.
So you were the first Sunni to walk like I do, correct?
Walk and fly.
Walk and
Wings
fly?
were still part of my creation.
What the hell? When did I lose those? That's not fair. Sultana still has them.
I don't know when you lost them, but it is a great tragedy that you did.
Be so cool. Ugh. Not fair.
Well, I'm sure that you have made companions that have magical abilities. Perhaps one could pick you up and carry you if you wish to fly so bad. Or perhaps they could cast a spell to grant you this power. It is rather simple in its solution.
Simplicity takes all the fun out of it. I'd rather wings just grow out of the back of, or out of my back, and.
But wouldn't that be the most simple solution?
Growing wings out of your back? I don't think so.
You make a good point.
I can cast spells. I know a lot of people who can cast spells. I don't know anybody who can just sprout wings. I guess other than Sultana, but maybe she could teach me.
Some tieflings have the ability. As do most Asimar.
Interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting.
I'm sure you did not come here to ask me about wing physiology.
Well, a little bit, but I suppose the thing that I really don't understand is, are you and all of them me? If that makes sense, or are we different?
It is a question that plagued me for quite some time in my journeys. How much was I like the great dragon Sunni? For most of my life, I carried the idea that we were one and the same. It was my duty to live up to his great name and to purge the world of the sins he committed. But as time went on, I do not know. If you take apart every piece of a ship and replace every piece that was taken apart, Is it still the same ship if it carries the same name? I suppose it's up to the captain. Does it serve the same purpose? Is its duty still the same? Does it execute that duty in the same way? Then, well, maybe they are the same. But maybe they're not.
What was happening in the world when you were walking and flying the planes?
It was near the beginning. The other humanoid species had only begun to form. The world was volatile and new. It was growing at an exponential pace. Evil run rampant. Villages would burn and crumble in a day after being formed. It's been so long that any of the villages, towns, cities that have been formed, I'm sure, are no more. In the world you live in, at least. Long, long, long ago. Within the first, I'd say, 5,000 years of existence since the Creator blessed our world with light.
Did you know the Creator?
No. I wish that I were so lucky. But no.
Did Suni know the Creator?
It is hard to say. Can you talk to a friend that has left your house? If you speak those words into the empty abode, do they still hear you? No. In our world, we have magic to commune with those who live in faraway places, but casting a spell or praying or communing with the Creator is like... It's like speaking to a friend that's left your house already. There's no way to communicate.
No way at all.
As I understand it, in the world I lived in, when worshippers of the Creator were as fervent as... He was the only God that was prayed to in those days. The light of Nabir Tarman had never shone as bright. No one ever heard. No one ever saw. In my time, there was only ever one that ascended the steps of Nabir Tarman and left with a fraction of that flame.
And what about the darkness?
The darkness was never there in my time. The world was new. The light of the Creator shone so bright. No shadow held claim on the land I lived in. Very different from the world you live, where light is fading and shadow is rising.
You think there's any way to reignite that light to drive the darkness away? It can't be that easy, I know, but if it was like that once, can it not be that again?
Which answer would you prefer? The one that I believe to be true, or the one that will give you hope?
I want to be honest with myself.
And honesty you shall receive. The flame of the Creator, that light in Nabir Taman, is not a normal fire. You cannot cast wood into it to encourage it to grow larger and larger. It is a finite light. A candle burning away day by day by day. Until eventually, the light extinguishes and the world falls to ruin.
Is there no one who can make another candle?
I do not know. The strength of the candle came from the Creator. It's not just Nabir Taman, but the light that exists in all of us. That light fades every day. And in those that it extinguishes in, the Dark One can claim them.
Did you ever speak with Suni the Forsaken?
Honesty with oneself is much more difficult than you would know. They all come to me, you know. Each reincarnation. Suni the dragon will not speak to them. He believes they must find their own path. If they come to me, I tell them what I know. I never thought that we could be capable of such depravity. If I would have known, I never would have told him.
Told him what?
I'm sorry. I swore an oath to Eluin that I would never speak of it again. I betrayed her trust once. I will not do it again.
If anyone should understand why I need this information, it's Eluin. This is the last chance that you, me, Suni has. I need to know everything.
I am sorry. I will not betray my oath once more.
I guess I'll have to respect that.
Thank you.
Do you have any unfinished business on the material plane?
Not on the material plane, but...
Or anywhere?
I do wish for Sultana to know that I am sorry. I wish I wouldn't have given up that part of myself. Life was cold after that day. So cold.
How long did you go on without her?
$1,000 years.
We can live that long? Can I live that long?
You cannot. Believe me, you do not want to. It is a cruel, cruel, cruel punishment to see each and every single person you love and care for turn to dust 10 times over. At a certain point, I stopped making friends. I stopped forging alliances. I just was alone for those last 300 years.
You know, I think I have 300 years of loneliness built up inside of me. So, but it's made me who I am today. Forging bonds is hard, but maybe that's why we come back.
It is a very nice thought. Well, I can tell that you did not give up your wisdom in this life.
No, you wouldn't think that if you checked my stat sheet. Sorry. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. I was shown what Suni the Forsaken did, most likely by the Dark One, so I'm not sure exactly how true most of it is. But I need to know from each and every one of you what your sins are. Show me. Let me experience it. I am going to redeem you. All of you.
It seems as though you need to speak with the one who started it all. I can share what I did, and the others will share with you. It will take time to go through it. And when you have proven yourself, Suni the dragon, the first of us, I'm sure will speak with you then, and you will learn the truth of what he did.
Well, tell me what you can. Please.
And Suni, what he'll begin to tell you is, at least for him, his greatest mistake and sin that he believes in his life is killing Sultana, and feeling nothing when he did it because of what he sacrificed. That's the tragedy for him. That's the pain he experiences. And he'll describe the story as it happened. The strange part to you, Suni, is when he describes the fight, is it wasn't a dance. It was just a duel. Because he left that part of himself behind, there was no magic, there was no chemistry, there was no bond. It was just a warrior fighting a warrior until one of them died. And it was Sultana. And then, as he finishes telling that story, he will speak on the others and say,
For the others, it is something you'll have to ask each one of them. It is not my story to tell, but I can feel our bond begin to wane. This is strenuous on your mind. With time you will learn, and with time you will redeem.
Thank you for your wisdom, and for your pain, and your loneliness. I will not take that for granted. It's mine to share.
you can see he nods. And the gold and green spirit will begin to fade back into the tombstone.
Before Suni fades out,
Mhm.
of my Suni fades out of this consciousness, can he peer into the windows of the church and see if Elowen is there?
Yeah,
I know I don't have time to like talk to her, but like I just want to see if she's like there.
yeah, as you look within, she is not, but you can see a lot of the greenery within the chapel is starting to turn brown and wilting flowers.
Can I cast plant growth in the grove? I don't know if that will do anything, but to just as much of that as he can before his connection severs.
Yeah, Suni, as you do, you can feel a little bit of rejuvenation within the chapel. It helps a bit. You're not sure for how long or if it will have any lasting effect, but in that moment, you can feel the plants breathe a sigh of relief with the rejuvenation from your spell.
And he will leave, I don't know, there will be like a patch of flowers that like come up right in front of the door, just as a message for Elowen, if she comes back, that he's been here.
Leaving flowers for Mom. That's so cute.
Yep. Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
And you...
Okay, all right. Wonderful, Suni. So with that, you return to reality. The windy hilltop on the karst. And about an hour and a half has passed. Ajax, I'm assuming you're still there?
Oh, yeah.
So, Ajax, something very strange happened as Suni was within this dream state. All of the vines and plants and flowers around him started to like grow towards him. Like the vines acting like snakes almost, and began to like wrap around Suni until he was almost cocooned in flowers and dirt and plant. So Suni, Ajax, this is something you saw over a very long period of time, but Suni, as you return, it's been moments for you. And as you open your eyes, you are just covered in dirt and vine and flower.
He'll just look at himself. And then,
I figured it was part of the process, so I didn't stop it.
I mean, it didn't seem to hurt any. Everything go okay out here?
Wonderful. I saw some birds. Nice breeze. No danger. Did you figure out what you wanted to?
A piece of it. I think I'm the 13th, is what I found out.
Well,
Right,
that's
Joe?
way
You said
more
there
than
were
2.
12. More than 2, less than 100. I was in there somewhere.
Close.
Close. I spoke to the first Dragonborn, Suni. A lot of interesting stuff. I'm about the light and the darkness and the time before the darkness, which I guess I didn't know existed, but I'll give you more details when I can tell everybody.
Take your time.
A lot to process.
I assume that is. But everything went okay.
Yeah. Thank you for watching me. I think I need some time on my own now.
Of course. And thank you for trusting me. to watch you.
Of course. I do. And I will.
Well, I will leave you to it.
Thank you.
And Ajax kind of bows and just kind of picks up his things and walks back inside.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, everybody kind of, well, Ajax and Suni, the two of you kind of pick up your things. You diverge from each other, heading back into the house. And night continues to fall. Did anybody have anything else they'd like to do on this evening before heading to bed?
Yes.
Yes.
Can Bianca talk to Carasilla, actually? I know I said Ajax, but I have a plan for Carasilla now.
Yeah, sure. So, Gemma, what is Carasilla doing on this late evening?
I mean, I imagine by this point it's pretty late. So she is probably just sitting there, just watching the night sky. Avoiding whatever I imagine has happened with Suni and Ajax. I imagine they're well off. Yeah, she'll just be watching the night sky and probably just has like a glass of wine.
Yeah, Bianca will come on up next to Carasilla and say, "Sorry to bother you. You seem very peaceful right now. I know we don't have a lot of that anymore."
Well, I mean, I don't think you'd be able to disturb the peace that much.
Hopefully not. How have you been? I know you were feeling some influence from the stab, so way back in Maester. Is that completely resolved now?
Is this the tummy check? I forgot about this.
It's the tummy check.
Yeah, Carasilla, there's been a lot going on, but you realize, and at least remember in this moment, that every time you enter the dream world, every time you become a part of that world, you feel that twinge and twist in your stomach. The pain emanates from there. It is the source of your ability to enter that dream realm and to see what's there.
So then, when not there, it isn't? Like, isn't painful or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, enough time has passed where the wound doesn't hurt anymore from the stab, but anytime you enter the dream realm or you leave it, there is that pain that is there. So right now, you're okay.
I mean, at the moment, it's fine. Most moments, it's fine. Which is, I suppose, a good thing, given the nature of it.
Right. Well, I don't know how exactly we'll resolve it, but just, I guess, let us know if things get worse there. Does Bianca know that it's connected to the dream world? Or is that something Carasel's kind of kept to herself?
I mean, she's talked about going there and visiting things, so like, yeah, I don't think she's ever had a name for it as much, but yeah.
But that the pain is associated to the dream world, has she talked about that specifically? It'll make sense with what I'm about to talk about next. I just didn't want to seem insensitive with my next thought.
Right, I think yes.
Okay.
I think because obviously that connection was made and everything, so
okay,
yes.
So we're all caught up to speed that it's okay. So then she'll just kind of awkwardly like look to the side and go, "Well, this makes me feel bad with what I'm about to suggest next. I know we only know so much about what's going on here, specifically related to the Dark One's influence and what 13 members are lingering and plans. And I hate the idea of putting you in risk because I know some of your dreams have brought you into a weird limbo of sorts where some people can actually see you. But I didn't know if the thought had crossed your mind about attempting to enter the dream world intentionally tonight to see if we can gain any information before the festival. Have you entered the dream world intentionally, or is it mostly just when they arise?
No, I have intentionally, but was there anything in particular you had in mind?
Maybe, I don't know, it seems like you've been able to touch into history of places, which is really helpful in both Maester and when we were in the Underdark. Kind of helped give us some guidance. I don't know, maybe here with Father Taroshi, maybe there's some history there, or maybe even some long-term Dark One influence that we just don't know about in this land. Maybe even more information to help. I'm really bad at names tonight. She hangs out with us. She likes rocks.
Suna?
Suna! I don't know why! I kept thinking Sultana. I could not get Sultana out of my head.
Oh, dude. Suna, Suni, Sultana, and Suen are all different, okay?
I know. Look.
Listen.
It's Game of Thrones.
It's gumbo up here, okay? All right. Anyway, so yes, basically she's suggesting that maybe some history of the land could help then with Suna as well. Maybe just some long-term background information, but I don't want you to hurt yourself at the same time. So I don't even know if you'd feel comfortable doing that.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long it would take to be able to find anything, if I'd find anything. And I mean, I would be willing, but especially for matters with the Dark One, I think that was why Malice was able to see me, at least. He exists outside of time and space, and so it makes sense that similar powers have been bestowed to her. And so if there are any Forsaken that have been lingering further than we know, I can't say that they wouldn't know that I was poking around. But I'd be willing to do it. Just perhaps if someone was at least still on watch, in case something like with Malice happened again.
No, absolutely. I would say either I or Ajax or both of us could keep an eye on you. I'm glad you're willing to, because I can only imagine what it's like losing that sense of control. So if you are on the fence or change your mind, please don't feel pressured. I don't know. I don't want to put any more of us at risk. There's been too much of that. But I also fear not knowing enough might put us at risk as well.
You know, it's not all terrible. Beyond, obviously, the information that we can get out of it. There's a beauty to the place.
How so?
It's like, funnily enough, wind chimes. I'm not quite sure from where or what, but
Interesting.
every time.
Well, something musical would be tied to something that you're attached to, I guess.
Worryingly, if it's also then connected to the Dark One, but, well, who knows. Strange times.
Feel that it's a specific power gifted to you from the Dark One himself? Or just that he's infiltrated it?
No, I think at least it's more so of an oversight.
Hmm.
The people that are attacked by those things aren't exactly meant to live from it. And
True.
so any repercussions of it isn't exactly something I imagine he's really cared about. So maybe this is a good mistake that we can capitalize on.
I'd like to see it that way too.
But I can poke around tonight.
All right. I'll make sure Ajax in on the plan. Well, everyone can be in on the plan, but I feel like if you're gonna take off bolting, he's gonna be the strongest one to keep you from running away.
Oh, yes, please.
And then she'll just look up at the sky and say, I hope tomorrow goes well.
I'm sure it will.
I think we got this.
Well, we've already been able to do a lot of things, and I think it's more than evident to anyone that death is hardly a thing that will stop us anymore.
I'm admittedly getting worried that we may have tested those boundaries one too many times. I want to remain optimistic about it. We've been able to do a lot within those boundaries, but this last time didn't feel, the last 2 times didn't go the way it probably should have.
No. And I'm not saying that we rely on it in any part. Are you alright, though? With everything that happened?
Yeah. In a way, it feels... In a way, it feels healing. Like I still had some control over the many different deaths that we've gone through, but it will never get easier. I'm glad it worked out. I am. But between the death of my mother and seeing what Ajax had to go through to come back to life, the relationship I have with it feels so much different than when I first was a Valkyrie. I don't feel that calm.
I don't think death should be calm. I think we all like to think it is, but I think that's what we just need to tell ourselves.
Maybe. But I will be alright. Glad we had friends in hell. Somehow. Wouldn't think that.
Well, it's always good to have an arrangement with a god of death as well.
He's not the strongest one, though. He also doesn't seem to like me.
How so? He was the one that reached out to you, wasn't he?
But I think he's finding out why the Raven Queen didn't keep me around. This last conversation we had after everybody parted, definitely he called me, I want to say ignorant, but he was a little bit harsher, said stupid in particular, so I don't think he likes the riskiness that is tied to me. So I don't have a good track record with gods.
I mean, listen, if he was the one to reach out to you after knowing everything that had happened with you and the Raven Queen, and the fact that she was the one to end that relationship, If anything, he's the fool for thinking you'd be anything different.
That's fair.
I think gods of death are used to getting enough flack anyways. Not exactly everyone's favorite. I wouldn't think that reflects anything negatively upon you.
Thanks. Well, hopefully we're able to get some rest. Hopefully your dream isn't... It's successful, but not too eventful.
Successful and not too eventful, I feel like, is always the hope.
Mm-hmm. Unlikely, but one can hope.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, we got this.
Well then, I suppose as soon as the others get back, probably get some rest in.
I'll let everyone... Well, we can let everyone know.
Okay. So with that, unless anybody has anything else, everyone is gathered and informed of plan.
Dream plan.
Yeah. We inform the plan.
Dream plan.
We go back. We dream. We see what happened.
Ajax, guard. Bianca's there too.
Ajax protect.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, you all gather yourselves. You ready for rest. Carasilla, you head to sleep, and Ajax stays up on watch. Is this a joint watch or just Ajax on his own?
Yeah, Bianca will watch with him to keep an eye on Carousel.
Okay.
Since it was her idea, she doesn't want to just be like, well, good luck with that.
I'm going to bed now.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just leave.
Okay.
I don't. I'll
Cecily's
sleep
going
well.
to bed.
Oh,
She's gonna walk to bed, and as she's walking there, just like dazed expression, be like, "I think this was the longest day of my life." And you know, not only has she been through a lot, I think it's literally been 3 months in real time. So she's yeah, she's gonna zonk for sure.
all right. Also, thank you so much,
whispers to Ajax,
Knights of the
probably
Silver
one
Moon,
of
for the
her
raid.
best days.
Hey, someone died.
That's true. 2 people died. Actually.
And then they came back to life.
And then they came back to life,
Listen.
and then the boy she
Yeah.
likes said, "I love you," and they kissed twice in the same day, actually.
And then there was Keith.
And then there was
Kiss.
kiss. Mm.
The first
Alright,
one was before
okay.
we knew anyone was okay. That
Yeah.
freak.
Whoa! All right.
Whoa!
So, with that, we rest. Except for
Widowy?
Widowy?
Except
Widowy.
for
Priscilla?
Carasilla. Like that conductor move right there? Yeah. Carasilla, as you head to sleep, you can feel that world of dreams begin to wrap around you. These faint, ethereal clouds begin to wisp around you. You feel that twist of pain in your stomach. You begin to hear chimes. And you begin to see the world of Tutsukage form around you, except it is in this ethereal dream state. Carasilla, as you awake within this realm of dreams, you can see people walking throughout the streets. Their forms ethereal. They don't necessarily see you, same as they've seen you before in the past. You have some distance from the world that you currently live within. You don't exactly know what time period it is, but you still recognize the streets you've been walking through. Not too much time has passed. So my question to you is, where is Carasilla's mind right now? Where is she attempting to go?
I think her goal is to try and like latch on to Toroshi, knowing that like if there's Dark One activity, it's probably going to be involving him. And so she'd want to try and find where he is. I guess go to the more like I don't know what they have. Did they have like a town hall thing? Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like where their like politics is, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So that would definitely be the Starlit Pagoda, as that is the area where all of the political activity, the major players of Shiroi, take place. It is this huge, like 50-story tall building. You're able to take your mind from where you stand, and as you close and reopen your eyes, you're there, following Father Toroshi. As this is the individual that you're more focused on, the world around you, around him, it materializes much stronger. As opposed to the faint ethereal blues, there's color. There is form to him. He's younger, for sure. Maybe 5 years or so, not too much. His clothes are a little more raggedy, a little more dusty. He still is a nobleman of Shiroi, but people don't nod in his direction. They don't give him any mutual respect. For the most part, they ignore him as he walks into the Starlit Pagoda. I'm assuming you follow behind?
Yeah.
Okay. You follow behind Father Toroshi, following him throughout this dream state. Instead of going up the pagoda, he goes down. Deeper and deeper, until eventually leading you to where you believe Suna spoke of the Oni statues. You can see each one of them down here. And you can see Father Toroshi is not alone down here. As you see an individual that you have heard of and fought against before. Granted, when you fought against him, you didn't see him. And to a degree, he didn't see you either. As you see down in this deep part of the Starlit Pagoda stands Father Paraido. But interestingly enough, Carasilla, when you saw Malice in the Underdark, within moments she saw you, she felt you. Paraido doesn't. No one perceives you here. As you see the two of them begin to speak.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Because, like, Bro's blind anyways. And she could tell that it's not like, obviously, you know, he's not, like, looking towards it, but, like, it is a genuine thing of, like, there's no recognition.
Correct.
Okay.
It seems as though Paraido cannot see into this realm of dreams you currently live in. Okay. So, you watch. And Paraido speaks, his voice low, the snarls taking over every once in a while, as he says,
So, have you done what was asked of you?
Father Toroshi responds,
Yes, I have. That and then some. I've done everything that our great Dark Lord demands of me. All I ask is what was promised in return now. Please, there's nothing I've ever wanted more. I've done everything you've wanted, everything you've asked. Please. Please give it to me. You reek of desperation.
You see Parido weigh him, looking him up and down, smelling the air, and then shaking his head.
No. You do not deserve his gifts. You are not worthy. You. You do not fit into his grand design. You are a lesser being. Your services were commendable, Father Taroshi, but you will be left behind in this new world.
You can see Parido goes to leave, and Father Taroshi tries to stand in his way. And immediately Parido sort of just grabs at his throat, picks him up, and says,
You do not stop me. How many people do you think have died in this room, Father Taroshi? I don't think you'd like to be one of them, would you?
You see Father Taroshi shake his head no, and barely let out this half-hearted gasp.
No. I'm sorry.
See? He sets Taroshi down and then goes to leave. You see Parido move through you. It pays you no mind. Father Taroshi stands there for a moment, looking at the Oni shrines.
No. I need it. I deserve to be the clan leader. I deserve that power, that respect.
And that's when you hear it, Carasilla. You have a moment to react as you hear the faint clicking of heels down a long hallway. You can feel that Malice is approaching, and you know that she saw you last time. What do you want to do?
I think she is glad in this moment that things were set up with Bianca, because I think whatever's going to happen next, it feels too important. Because I feel like it's going to be, obviously, it's going to be the real crux of what we need here. And so, knowing there's no point in hiding, and she is not willing to sever the connection to the dream world now, she's just going to be facing the hallway, like in the room, and just standing there, waiting for her to approach. Not trying to hide or anything, just, gotta let it happen. Because there's no point in hiding, she'll see anyways.
Okay.
But
okay.
Obviously Malice wants this, right? And so, I'm just thinking power move, that's all I'm going with here.
Okay. So just so I know where you're at, you are standing in the hallway, because that's where you were. You were in the hallway looking in on the shrine room. And as
she would
hear...
move into the room.
You would move into the room where Malice is going to move into.
Yes.
Okay.
And she's going to be facing the hallway, just in case. But yeah. She wants to be there for what happens next, and Malice wants to do shit, she'll do shit, but she's not going to dip on what's going to be important.
Okay. All right.
Carousel ain't no pussy, but she's also shaking inside.
So Malice will go to round the corner and stop as she sees you.
Carousel will give her a little nod.
Father Taroshi says, "Please, leave me to collect my thoughts. I would like a moment with the shrines." You see, she looks at you with just this grin, not of happiness, but of hatred. Ah, of course, Father Taroshi. But I believe we may be of use to one another. Looking at you, Carasilla, as she walks into the room. And then looks to Father Taroshi. How would you like to make a deal? As I understand it, an individual with a similar connection as mine has denied you. I'm sure that didn't feel good, did it? He's quite a brute. He doesn't, and she'll look to you, Carasilla, as she walks around behind Father Taroshi, faces the wall towards you. He doesn't understand that I am more amicable. I can be an ally, and looks back to him, even when you think you have none. You want power, Taroshi? How would you like to be Emperor of Atarashi? A very sweet deal, I think. You can see Taroshi kind of paces and looks to her, looks to the shrines, and allows his pride to take over in that moment and says, yes. Yes, yes. More than anything. It will take time to build you up, to make you a true leader. But if you follow along with the plan I have laid, 4 or 5 years, you'll be elected clan leader of Shiroi, and you'll have an arranged marriage ready with Empress Suen. And your enemies, you see she looks to you, Carasilla, I will make sure to have them dispatched before they become an issue. In fact, I'm getting a premonition, Father Taroshi. Are you familiar with, what are their names? Master Hiroshi and Lady Suzuki. You know them, I'm sure. Father Taroshi nods. Well, I think that if my visions serve correctly, they'll be your greatest enemies in that pivotal election. So you know what I think? I think on the eve of the festival, when they've garnered as much support as they think is necessary, her head turns to you, Carasilla. I'll be sure to send an extra special attack dog after them, to make sure they stand no chance of beating you. Looks back to Father Taroshi. So what do you say? I guarantee you power, and all you need to do is sign a itty-bitty contract with me. Father Taroshi immediately
jumps on. Yes, yes, I'll sign anything. I just want that power. I want to make them bend to me.
Wow.
So full of fervor, I love to see it. Passion. And an understanding when someone else
Looks to you, Carasilla.
holds all the answers already. In fact, I think it might be too late for them already. Who knows, though? They might still have time yet.
As Father Taroshi signs the contract.
Can Carousel see what the contract is, like the details of it?
Yeah, Carasilla has a high enough passive perception she can definitely see. This is a binding contract where when he becomes clan leader, he is a puppet of Malice. He didn't read it. He no longer has his own thoughts. He is commanded by her. He or she controls him. And by that extent, when he marries Empress Suin, if that happens, he will kill her, have her assassinated, and she will have control over all of Adarashi. For what purpose exactly, you're not sure. There's something within Adarashi that Malice must want specifically, but it seems as though Father Taroshi is the key to whatever that is. But you can see, the deal, yeah.
Just to clarify, so he's not technically bound to her until he becomes clan leader.
Correct.
Oh wait, but he's already. Oh shit! Wait, isn't he already?
He's
He's just the leader of his clan, not like all of.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the deal is not in place yet.
Not in place yet. If Malice fails to make him clan leader, he's free from the deal.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, she'll still just be watching Malice the whole time. She's not trying to give anything away.
Okay. Father Taroshi signs the contract, and it evaporates. She says, very good. Now I think it would be best if you leave me here alone for just a few moments. I have some praying I'd like to do myself. Father Taroshi bows with much reverence and leaves her alone. She turns to you, Carasilla, when he's gone, and says, well, look who's learned to control those dreams just a little bit better. So, not going to run away, rush to try and save your dear puppets, stand-ins, your ploy for power?
I mean, you can take your guesses and I'll take mine.
You are good. Very good. You don't think you'd want to join me, would you?
Do you mean that as a serious proposal?
Oh, I think I do. You are quite good at what you do, and very few people are even half as good at me at talking.
I suppose I'll take the compliment, whatever little it's worth.
But you're not stupid. It should be very clear to you that I'm on your side.
And how exactly do you figure that?
In the world as we know it, there is evil and good, and a few things in between. I'm not going to deceive you and claim that I am a saint, sent from the seven heavens of Mount Celestia. No. I've spent my life shrouded in darkness and webs, and I make no mystery of that. But tell me, Carasilla, what good does it do me to swear fealty to an entity that promises to take that away? I want what you want: to stop the father of lies.
What did your contract look like with the Dark One?
Oh, I wish it was just a contract. Contracts, regardless of how specific they are, you can weasel out of them.
I just wonder if someone like Father Toroshi was so eager to sign one, no matter how terrible it was, really, for his gain and for his interests. Curious to see then what yours was.
As I said, I wish it was as simple as a contract. A binding oath it was. That I must do everything in my power to ensure his dark ascension. That this world crumbles to dust every time I act in opposition to it. I experience pain unparalleled to anything else this world has ever brought upon me. But you know what, Carasilla? After some time, the pain becomes numb. Nothing hurts anymore. And I am free to do what I wish. But imagine how much easier my job would be if heroes like yourself would see the truth. That I can be a tool to you, same as you can be a tool to me. We all want the same thing.
Well, I agree you're a tool, alright? But anyways, I'll let you return to your business.
You and my darling son would get along swimmingly. He always had a way with words as well. Tell me, your sister, should I pay her a visit? Perhaps I could give her the same treatment that I gave my dearest Nalfian sweet daughter and wife. Tell me, how long do you think Morwen would last, being flayed alive?
I'd more so wonder how long you'd last. Don't forget, other Forsaken have fallen.
Oh yes, but I am not other Forsaken. You think I am Anva, full of pride in my illusions? You think I'm Morchella, hiding deep in a moss-covered cave using hags as a tool?
No, you hide in a deeper cave using spiders as tools. I don't think you realize how undifferent it is. And like I said, I think our time here is over. Have a good night. And Carousel is going to try and just leave. Waking up time now, please.
as you go to leave, Bianca, Ajax, you can see Caracella's hand move. And for a moment, Caracilla, the dream breaks. And then Malice pulls you back in. Oh no. This is my realm. You leave when I say you can leave. So let's have a little experiment, shall we?
Before you get into the juicy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you said she moved her hand.
Yeah.
Are we able to pay a little closer attention to Caracilla at this moment? Because if she moved her hand like she was getting ready to get up, or like shifting in her sleep, like...
It was definitely like a I'm gonna get up type of movement.
Okay, so it's a little surprising that she's back asleep, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how the pacing is you want to do it here, what's happening in the dream versus us, but I feel like Bianca and Ajax wouldn't just sit there and be like, they'd probably go up and try and be like, hey,
Okay.
you still good?
So this is what we'll do. You will get a few attempts to wake her up. And then once you eventually successfully do, that'll be where I end that moment. But let's see how long it takes the two of you to wake her up. So initially you just go over and try and shake her.
Yeah, I think initially just being like, you still good?
No effect.
Okay. Bianca will kind of look to Ajax. What do you think we need to like do something? Can you hear us, Caracilla? And she's like pat in the face now.
No effect.
Is she like limp? Like hanging out
Like-
like if she
Limp.
Oh no.
Ajax is going to kind of briskly walk over with a glass of water that he had next to him. Well, it might be ale. Some ale that he had next to him, and
Watch out.
and splashes Caracilla in the face with the ale.
No effect.
Okay, she's gonna try and like prop Caracilla up and just like shake her, like way more than just, you know, when she was down.
No effect.
I can try something else, but she may not like me.
Let me try something. And Bianca doesn't have. This is gonna sound weird, but she's gonna try and affect the tummy ache to see if that can reach her.
You gonna stab her again?
No, not with a knife, but I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Not with a knife.
I don't know. Maybe a little bit of thaumaturgy, burning hand, like put it on the tummy, try and fucking. I don't know. I don't have necromancy power, so I can't like heighten it. I don't even have radiant. Do you have radiant damage at all? I got 5.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
but not like a lot.
my zealot barbarian gives me some radiant damage if I hit something.
Can you like? Not hard.
How much
but,
health?
Like,
How much health does Caracilla have? She's got.
Hey,
She's.
sorry,
She.
hit
We're
point?
full, right? We're full, right?
I think we're full.
Okay.
I mean, not with your weapon, but can you like punch her gut with radiant damage? I don't know.
Let me just look up something just really quick.
Because like if
Okay.
everything else isn't affecting her, I feel like the tummy ache might get through to the dream. You know?
Where's my zealot feature? Oh, here. 1d6. Okay. Yeah, Ajax is going to start kind of getting uppity, start a little bit getting it's not angry, but he has to go in a rage to do this. So he's in like a panic. That's what he's in. And he's going to take the back of one of his hand axes and just look at Caracilla and go,
I'm so sorry.
and just smacks her in the stomach with the back end of the axe, dealing damage.
Okay.
With radiant.
Okay, go ahead and roll for damage.
No, shit. Okay. It's not that bad. It's it's a 1d6 plus, what is it, 4? And I have one more thing that I will try if this does not work, and that one. Okay, well, sometimes you have to press
But it
commands.
says 7.
That was just the normal, so it's
Oh.
it's 15 total, but 8 points of radiant damage.
Okay, Carousel, you take 15 points of damage. That does have an effect. But first,
Let's go.
Caracilla, as you go to wake up to remove yourself from the dream realm, she says, No. This is my realm. You leave when I say you can leave. It is astonishing what you do not know about this realm and the power that it holds. This realm shows you reality. It shows you truth. It does not show you apparitions. It shows you what has been, what will be, and what is. So let me show you this, Caracilla, and let me see if it helps change your mind. And Caracilla, what you see unfold before you is a shifting reality, one that you assume is of the future. You see a desolate city, one that you recognize as your home, Bromsgrove. However, it is unrecognizable. Ruined beyond belief. There is nothing but cinder and ash that moves throughout the streets. Near the top of the mountain, where the majority of the children of the flame would be, where the heroes of Illica once stood valiantly, there their bodies lie, turning to dust and shadow. You see the flame of Nabir Tarman extinguish, gone. The tower crumbles and falls. The world shatters. The world ends. As Malice says, this is what happens. This is the reality you live in. But I can change it. I can stop it. I can make sure this does not happen. But do you know what, Caracilla? If I do not get my way, if it does not go the way I have planned, this is what I will do. Remember, this is not an apparition. This is not fake. This is the truth of the world. With one apparition, you can see your companions, your allies, feasted upon by driders and drow matrons alike. Shadow clawing at them, hordes of undead ripping them apart. I mean ripping them to pieces, feasting on their flesh. Malice then says, "Oh, but if that's not good enough for you, what about your dearest sister, You can see Morwen riding outside the fields of Hearthcrest, charging into a horde of fiendish undead. Toppled from her horse, she fights with the Leviathan axe to the best of her ability, but is struck down. Spiders jump on top of her, bringing her down to the ground, encasing her in web, paralyzing her. Her body's dragged deep within the Underdark. The webbing is broke around the face, as Malice with one of her nails slices across the throat, allowing the blood to drip down into a large glass. Oh, but let's not forget your dearest drow that you found, the stray you picked up. Oh, you think I don't know of him? No, I know that he's escaped. And believe me, I let him exist out in this world. because he means nothing to me. But the fact that he means something to you, ooh, you give me something too sweet to ignore. And before you can see that final apparition, you feel this radiant pain within your gut shock you awake, ripped from the dream world and ripped from the chimes that once ensnared you as you return to the Karst Peak Lodge, awake. Carasilla, I have to stress that everything you saw felt so real. You fought against Anvath. You knew what those illusions felt like. But in the same way, when you walked through the streets of Tutsukage, everything initially felt ethereal and far away, but then it all felt so real. It was full color. It was full detail. It was painful to watch. And a part of you felt like you couldn't look away. But all of you, Ajax and Bianca, you see Carasilla shock awake. Carasilla, there is this fiery pain in your stomach that you feel as you wake up, twisting and gnawing, more so than just that pain of Ajax, but that psychic pain that you felt. It doesn't manifest in any damage, just these mental images as you look to Bianca. You remember so vividly her jaw being torn off and that soundless scream emanating from her throat. You remember Ajax being ripped limb from limb, spear torn from his hand, shield used to batter him to death. For a moment, these realities blend. As Bianca goes to talk to you, you see her jaw missing. As you look to Ajax for a moment, in between blinks, you see his face caved in. But after a few moments, reality does return. And the two of you can see these panicked, blinking stares on Carasilla's face as she returns.
Everything's all right. Take your time.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you can see, like, she's, like, beyond just panic stares. There's tears in her eyes, like, she could barely breathe. I think when Malice was showing her all those things, she was trying her goddamn best to, like, keep it all together and not give Malice that victory. I imagine towards the end, it was, I mean, Malice could probably have read it like a book. But I think just finally getting out of that, like, all that kind of emotion of watching those things just kind of, like, breaks out in that singular moment. And she will need to take a solid couple of minutes, I think.
If she's receptive to touch, Bianca will be there to hold her while she handles it. But if she's not receptive to touch, she obviously wouldn't do that.
Nah, she'd cling to you.
Okay, yeah, she's holding on. It's all right. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we put you through that.
No, like I said, it wasn't all bad. You can see, like, she's just, like, lingering, like, just specifically, like, looking to your jaw, like, you know, it's back now, but, you know, the memory. Whatever's happening here, it's definitely something that Malice cares more about than anything, at least in the moment. But we need to make sure that Hiroshi, that Lady Suzuki are alright. I think Malice plans to attack them tonight. She said she was going to attack them tonight.
All right, we'll wake the others, and we'll go check in on them and see what we can do. But Do you need a moment?
We can have a moment once we know they're alright.
This was worse than last time.
They'll be alright. We just need to make sure that they are safe.
I can go wake up everyone. Bianca, if you want to stay with Carasilla.
All right. And Bianca will just keep holding Carasilla.
Okay.
And Ajax will go wake up everyone. And Ajax will wake up everyone not in like a manner of trying to be, he's not trying to be quick about it. He's almost trying to be gentle about waking everyone up. Kind of like just going up to everybody and kind of slowly shaking them and just
Saying, we need to get up. Convene. Please, gather your things.
Okay. One by one, you wake each person up. They rise, I'm assuming, with little to no question, and band together in the common room. All of you can see, by this point, Carasilla, as real as it all felt, you have a much easier time now that everybody's awake distinguishing reality from fiction. Or at least the visions that you saw in the dream world. You feel more calm now, but obviously, it was still a lot. So, as all of you gather, what are you doing?
Carasilla, when she entered the dream world, saw some things and also learned that Malice cares a lot about what happens here in this next election, and she's going to, or is already, attacking Father Hiroshi and Lady Suzuki. So we need to go check in on them. Once we get that done, we can all connect again about more information that she learned, but we need to go as soon as possible. Any questions?
I guess not.
We need to leave now.
Alrighty. So with that, the 7 of you band together. You make your way out of the Karst Peak Lodge, headed to the Starlit Pagoda. So that's the area where Master Hiroshi and Lady Suzuki would be staying, being minor clan leaders of Shiroi. The cover of night, you all run, hoping to get there before whatever beast was sent to slay them arrives. And as you make your way into the Starlit Pagoda, ready to find their rooms and hopefully save them before it's too late, that is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Wee, brother.
oh my gosh.
We had a lot of stuff to unpack this session.
That could be considered spicy.
Yeah, there was some.
There was.
Lots of spice.
How do you like to say it, Joe?
I am a muse. No.
What?
What?
No.
You're my muse, Joseph.
What? All right.
I merely
I love the confidence.
am truly a servant to the story. Y'all throw me curveballs. That's all I gotta say. I'm excited because things are kind of fucking picking up. I'm getting a little sooner than I thought they would. So I'm excited to see what happens because of this.
You didn't think Carasilla was gonna stand her ground against Malice in the dream world?
Nope.
I don't think anyone
20
did.
pound balls.
Honestly,
Shit, no, bitch, I wasn't sweating. Don't worry about it.
Just fucking
I heard-
2 kettle balls in her pants.
Yeah.
Just fucking, nah, it's fine. We're gonna
She
stand
laid
our
her
ground
dick
here.
out on the counter and said,
Just
"Try me, babe."
fucking
I-
yardstick dick.
And she
just-
did. She did try her.
I like to imagine that Carasilla has such a poker face that the entire time, just no emotion. Malice couldn't see anything that she wanted to see. That's why she started to get so vicious. But no, yeah, God damn, that was good. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I know I freaking did. It is so great to have to be back for D&D, and especially to have Gemma back. Very excited for Isles on Saturday as we see the return of Twig there, so be sure to tune in to that. And also tomorrow for the Tales of Everend, as we finally get to break the storm giant.
Raid a storm giant prison.
Yeah, we're gonna raid a storm giant prison. That sounds freaking cool. We're gonna be like mice in there. It's gonna be so fun. So I'm very excited for that. And be sure to check out the YouTube channel next Monday for the next advice videos that'll be posted then. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time.